everyone, and welcome to Waterdeep Dragon Heist Resurfaced. I am your DM, the Leviathan from my native tempestuous plane. I am currently taking a break from feeding on my lesser kin to increase my apocalyptic capabilities to DM for you all tonight. Victoria, would you like to bask in my glory and give the announcements for today, please?
I certainly would. And the most important part of the glory of any Leviathan is they're really cool little Dragon Corp dice, you guys. And they're our latest sponsor. You can get all kinds of cool tabletop gear from their website, littledragoncorp.com, and you can use the coupon code BONUS to get 10% off of your order. And you can also follow them on Twitter at littledragonco1 to stay updated on all of their cool products. And also, in our great worship of our Leviathan god, have to call out some of the senior acolytes, Twitch, OBS Streamlabs, Many-Sided Dice, and Team MZ. It's thanks to their support that we are able to stream. And don't forget to check out our other games. There should be a schedule posted below the Twitch chat, but if you're not watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, first of all, subscribe. Second of all, we have games every night of the week. Some nights we have more than one game. Most of them start between like 7 and 8 Eastern. So if you hop on at that time, there's a good chance that you'll catch something. But we also have like some other games at other times. We've got games for the published modules. We've got homebrews. Yeah, so like, check it out. Kristy! Mystic Hour!
So,
Peanut butter baby.
tomorrow, Kingdom Hearts DLC drops, so guess what Kristy's doing? Remind! Come join me while I play Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. I'm so excited!
Ooh. Very classic, Kristy, because this time last year you were, like, taken off a week to play.
Bye!
Bye!
Okay, bye! Well, Kingdom, like, it's the entire game, so, like, I needed to just be like, I'm gone.
Yeah.
This is DLC. I'm hoping I can get through it in one day, but if not, that's even better, so we'll see.
Square Enix sponsor proficiency bonus.
Come at me! You're
We
on
love
my
you.
body!
And that's, I think, like, most of the announcements that I had. And does anyone else have anything?
I know you mean me, and the answer is no.
I mean, you can just say hi.
Hi. I mean, I'll do recap again if we wanna, but
Sure.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, we do need a recap, so if you would
We
like
do.
to
I was
do
flipping
that.
out last episode, so like,
Yeah, like,
my notes
maybe-
are not great.
maybe I'll just be recap guy. Maybe that's what I get tossed now. Recap. Okay, so the party we were still going up the mountain as instructed by Vajra, the Black Staff, to go meet the reclusive monk Halam, to see if he knew anything about what was going on in the city, any threats to the city. We reached the cave where he was deep in meditation. Tallice stayed outside with our captured Zentarum prisoner, Drago, while Sir and Nova went inside to speak with the monk, interrupting what seemed to be the very intense amount of meditation where he was trying to find some sort of ancient truth of the world. But they sat down and had some tea with him and asked him what he knew. And he, after a very long silence of deliberation, possibly with a god, I think we guessed, because he seems to be of some sort of religious sect, gave a very, very unnerving omen that on a holiday, possibly soon, but we don't know, regardless of good or evil, innocent blood shall be spilled. He did not elaborate. So we thanked him for his information, also instructed him that the Zentarum were very close to his cave and killed the guards that were supposed to be watching him, which distressed him. We sent this information off to the Blackstaff as well as her apprentice, Temperance, who we had a sending stone for. We then started to make our way down the mountain, though our horses were getting quite tired, so we decided to camp for the night, and we talked a little bit more with our prisoner, Drago, who pretty much admitted that he kind of joined the Zentarum probably young as a means of having money and security, which we later learned is sort of how Zentarum gets a lot of their members, and also that the wizard that I slew in combat and then promptly looted her corpse was his sister. We told Drago that we would do everything in our power to get him the most leniency with his sentencing if he just agreed to work with the Blackstaff. We returned to Waterdeep proper and immediately met with Temperance at the Blackstaff Academy, where we explained again what we learned, as well as handed Drago off to her for his continued questioning. Nova possibly maybe securing some burial rights for his sister. He has to decide that. And Sir asked if, in addition to their reward of coin, if he could be instructed in the use of magic, as his pouring through the spell book left him wanting for a greater understanding of it, and because he seemed to at least have a possible natural affinity towards it. This excited Temperance greatly, and she wished to take Sir on as a personal apprentice of her own. We then returned our horses, went back to the Three of Cups to rest, where Nova ended up wanting to do a reading and found threateningly that her deck of cards, at least starting with one and then all of them, had become the, 10 of Swords, which is a very foreboding card that tells of betrayal and ends and possibly great tragedy.
Unavoidable tragedy.
Unavoidable tragedy. That's very... And she and Sir had a conversation with that, as well as a little bit about Sir's loss of control during their fight in when he slayed someone that possibly didn't need to be killed. Meanwhile, though, Tallice was having a great time being introduced to a small pixie fairy, just a tiny man. Sprite. There we go. A tiny sprite man by the name of Bramble, who has been entrusted into her service by her mysterious patron. They are now probably going to be thick as thieves, and it led to an unfortunate, awkward conversation where Tallice wanted to introduce us to Bramble, and we had to introduce Tallice to unavoidable, foreboding betrayal. Not really knowing what exactly to do about it, not really having anything to do about it, we sort of just retired ourselves to try and relax. And Temperance is on her way to the Three of Cups as we speak. And that is where we left off.
Okay. All right. So let me just take an inventory of where everyone is and what you're doing first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in my room.
Okay.
I'm looking over the spell book again because I think I still have it.
Mm-hmm.
And also because I haven't had time to do it yet, I'm checking out that little yellow potion that I also got from Drago's sister's corpse.
Okay, so you're essentially taking a short rest to identify this.
Attempting to, yes.
How are you doing so? Just out of curiosity.
That's the thing. I don't know what I know about I don't even know if it is a potion or if it's an oil. So maybe shaking it, uncorking it, smelling it. Don't think he would drink it. So he would do all of those, maybe put like a drop of it on like one of his ducks. That's all.
Okay.
And then lick it off.
No.
He's not licking it. He'll
Okay.
mostly probably just ask Temperance.
You shake it, you uncork it, you smell it. It's, you know how in like chemistry class they tell you never put your nose in it, waft it.
Yeah.
You put your nose in it, and it's as you're just the hairs on the inside of your nose are just like burned away.
Like just straight ammonia.
Oh,
Ooh.
maybe it's Nair. Maybe it's just a bottle of Nair.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
It's extremely strong. It's extremely potent. The smell. I would say honestly, probably unlike anything that you've smelled, at least in recent memory. It is very ammonia-like in that, like when the smell hits your nose, it just immediately makes your eyes water. Like I said, the hairs on the inside of your nose are basically burned away, and there's a moment where you're like, I should have wafted it. Putting a little bit onto your duck, it's corrosive.
That's why we don't drink it. That's why we don't drink it.
You gather from your minor experimentation during this technically short rest that it is a poison.
Fair enough. That's why we don't drink it.
You may
Could've
add
just
drow
dabbed a little on
poison
your tongue.
Oh.
to your inventory.
Oh, shit.
Ooh. That stuff's
Okay.
nasty.
Of
Oh my
course,
god,
Sir,
is it
Sir
like
doesn't
an
know that it's drow, but
Yeah, but that's just what you can add for.
we don't even know if it's like, is it a contact ingestion or like one of the ones that you have to like cut the person and put it in them? Like there's like a bunch of kinds.
D&D Beyond tells me, but Sir doesn't know.
Okay. What is Nova doing?
She's on the second floor in her tent, probably smoking a bit of hookah and
Yeah.
and just staring at her deck.
Is she also babushka?
Yeah, she's like who
Babush, our little babushka.
Yeah. She's just like in a comfort zone at the moment.
Okay. What about Tallice?
A lot just happened in the last game. Probably like showing Bramble around the room and making sure that because the whole little tower is for him, and asking if he needs anything to make it better, or like if he doesn't like it, then I can set up a little space for him in the room. And
He's like standing in the middle of the tower with like his little like in like fists, like his little like fist like on
like
his
a
hip.
Kimbo.
Yeah, like looking around. I mean, maybe something soft to sleep on, and he's like padding around the room a little bit, playing with the plants, like taking his fingers with like the little leaves and like.
They're probably like huge compared to.
Yeah. He's
but-
like 6-7 inches tall max.
He's the perfect height. Well, like there was some moss that started growing on my wall, and I don't really know why. If I like pull that off,
Perfect.
could you sleep on that?
Yes.
Maybe I can get Sir to like carve you a little bed. He likes ducks a lot, but maybe he can make you a little bed, and I'll put the moss in
That's
it.
adorable.
And then we're just like hanging out, and I want to ask him questions about stuff eventually, but I'm also like anticipating. so I mean, that can wait.
Okay.
We're just hanging out and like chatting and like singing songs and coming up with riddles.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So, Sir, as the day goes on, eventually you get a knock on your door. From one of your employees. Your bartender. The tiefling. There's someone downstairs for you.
Ah, thank you. I was expecting a.
Okay. And then just goes back downstairs. Not the most charismatic man in the world. But you go downstairs and Tempe is there. Temperance, the apprentice of the Blackstaff, the red tiefling woman with the raven familiar who is currently actually hopping around the room. Every once in a while, he'll flap his wings and jump to a counter or the back of a chair. You can see that his eyes are glowing, though, as are hers. So she is likely currently seeing through him as he's like flitting around.
Coming down the stairs. Temperance!
She doesn't look at you, but Ruse does.
I instinctively kind of look at Ruse. Hello? Getting used to it. Do you prefer that I look over here? Do you prefer that I look at you?
It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay. I don't know what I'm comfortable with actually, because the voice comes from here, but your eyes are here. But hello.
She'll tap
Good to
her
see
shoulder
you.
and he flies to her shoulder.
That's easier. Did you want something to drink?
Oh no, I don't drink. Thank you.
Okay. Something to eat?
No, I'm okay. You're very hospitable though.
We try to be. I'll come sit with her.
Oh, would you prefer to work down here? Or is there somewhere else that you would like to work?
I do have some quarters upstairs if this is something that needs a little bit more quiet.
No, I mean it's up to you and what is if you're more comfortable studying in a quiet environment, then we can go upstairs. Otherwise here's fine.
Why don't you come with me? I can show you the upstairs. I don't know if you participate in. You don't drink. Do you participate in hookah?
I can't say I ever have, but that doesn't mean I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, well, I can show you Nova's hookah lounge at least, and my quarters. Come.
She will stand up and follow.
And I will. He'll do like. Is she still looking through? Because he'll do.
Yeah.
He'll offer. Okay,
Yeah.
so for the stairs, but okay, he'll go up and just sort
Okay.
of like
Yeah, she follows.
show her around. This is my quarters right here. And I'll like open the door and then I'm like, oh man, my ducks are out. Got all my ducks.
Oh my freaking ducks.
All my freaking ducks are out.
Do you have like a table or like a desk in your room?
I think that he would have a little table where he's been doing his carving mostly, so it's got like little wood shavings on it. He's pretty
Okay.
simple though.
So she sits down and from her bag she pulls a book and some ink and some quills and some parchment, a few blocks of incense, a few other material components that she's tossing on the table, wires and feathers and different little jars of like powders and stuff. She's just kind of setting on the table.
That's a lot of a setup there.
Well, I wasn't exactly sure what we would find today, so I wanted to be a bit more prepared.
Okay.
Have you done any more looking through this book that you found?
I've done a little bit. It's still sort of. It feels like I'm like almost there, but haven't necessarily put the ends together yet.
That's okay. Why don't you come sit down with me?
Okay.
And she slides a quill and a pot of ink over in your direction, and then some sheets of parchment, and opens the book up to a page. So, one of the things that I kind of wanted to start with you today was, and we'll probably feel a bit elementary, but that's fine. You are at that kind of stage. She points to the page.
Treat me like I'm just a brand new student, like probably like what? I don't know when they start. 10? I don't know. That's fine.
On the page are characters of an alphabet. This is the alphabet for the Draconic language. The Draconic language is the language used frequently in arcane spells and magic, and the alphabet is what is frequently used in writing equations and any sort of journaling or anything like that you would be doing for your spells. It's going to be in this language. The language itself, you can call it Draconic if you want. Its proper name is Glav, which means speech or converse in this language. And this alphabet is called Eocharic. So we are going to be practicing the Eocharic alphabet today. So, and she kind of slides the paper over to you with the quill and the ink. So the Eocharic alphabet has 26 main characters, and there is a 27th special character. This is kind of this alphabet and understanding how each character is pronounced will kind of aid in the casting of any spells and any incantations that you may learn. It's not completely necessary that you understand and know the Draconic language as a whole, but I do highly recommend possibly moving in that direction and learning it. I found that learning the language helped with my personal spellcasting immensely.
Okay. I have a few languages under my belt, as it would seem. Draconic is not one of them. So you're saying that when someone is casting a spell, I don't know what terms are, or I don't know what a dumb. You're gonna say there's no dumb questions, but so are you saying that the air quote magic words are essentially this language?
Correct. Draconic is the language of the arcane. It is speculated that it is derived from the fact that dragons are some of the best arcane sorcerers to ever walk the material plane. So a lot of magic has kind of, and weaving this magic into a tangible form that we can move around and maintain has kind of stemmed directly from the dragon's ability to do so.
All right, then.
It's an extremely consonant-filled language, and it sounds very strange. It sounds like hisses and kind of clicks, and there's even a character that kind of sounds like you're clearing your throat a bit. So it is it is very difficult to learn, but if you want to take the time to do so, I recommend it simply because I feel it has aided very immensely in my personal spellcasting to be able to understand what the incantations and what the words that I am saying mean.
Okay. All right. That all sounds above water. Yeah. Okay. So what am I going to be doing right now? I'm going to be writing the alphabet?
Essentially.
Okay.
If you have any questions, you can let me know. All words of the Draconic language, because there's like I said, there's this very special character here, and she points to 5 horizontal lines.
Okay.
All words in the Draconic language are emphasized in the first syllable, so that first syllable is always emphasized. But if it is a proper noun, for example, or if it is something that needs to be emphasized in a sentence that you're speaking, or the word itself needs to be emphasized, this is used frequently in spells when you're trying to enhance the energy that the spell is pushing forth. This consonant or this particular character will be used, and it is put at the end of the sentence, and it means that the first syllable and the last syllable of the word that you're speaking is emphasized.
Okay. So it's sort of like punctuation that says this is important. Is that
correct?
Is that so? Okay.
Yes,
okay.
And so that would mean like if conversationally, it would be like if I was saying your name, then I would do that with your name. But when we're talking about arcane incantations and spells, I frequently, and again, magic is very personal to every person. But in my experimentation with my spells, I frequently use that sound in my spellcasting when I am trying to channel the weave more and channel that energy more into that spell and possibly increase the power that is behind it.
Are you saying that like two different wizards, correct term, casting the same spell could sound relatively different from one another because it's
Correct. Yeah.
okay.
There is a standardized incantation for most spells. But for me personally, I and do not tell Ginevra, or oh my gosh, not Ginevra, Vajra, that I'm saying this. Oh, Ginevra. Thematic components and verbal components have a very standardized thing for a lot of spells, but I personally don't like following that. And that is not something that we'll start with the standardized of everything. I personally don't like following that though. I believe that while the standardized thematic and verbal components of a spell can lead people in the right direction, in the end, everything is very personal. And I think that it strengthens the magic that you're using if you're able to kind of channel that energy on your own and make it your own. So while we can start with a very standardized verbal and thematic components, I want you to move with that energy that you're feeling and do what feels right.
Okay, learn the rules to know how to bend them.
Exactly.
Okay. Do you have that particular disposition due to your skill as a wizard, or does it stem from having a more unique way of experiencing the world, as in your sight?
I think that having a more unique way of experiencing the world, I think yes, each goes hand in hand, because I have to kind of change things as I go to make things more accessible for myself. But in the end, I think that changing things as I go to suit my own needs has again strengthened my magic because it gives me a very personal connection, I think, to the weave and channeling it. And I think that philosophy can be applied to people who don't necessarily need to alter their magic because they don't see things the way that people who are sighted see things, or if they're deaf and can't hear things. I think that can be applied to everyone because everyone's experience with the weave and everyone's experience with magic is extremely personal.
Well, I am nervous but excited to get started, so I'm just gonna take the quill and just start copying it. Is that what you want me to do? And then
Yeah, for now. And like I said, it's going to feel a bit elementary, but we'll do this for a little bit. I want you to kind of get a feel, because if you look at the alphabet, it's very, all of the characters look very, very similar or have very similar lines or curves.
Okay.
I can send you guys specifically the Draconic alphabet.
Yeah, let me see what I'm looking at.
So she goes on to explain, I want writing each of these characters. Ooh, that's not what I wanted. I wanted writing each of these characters to feel.
Is that Daedric?
It's the right alphabet. It's just
transparent.
Yeah. Because I want each of these characters, when you're writing them, to feel organic. I don't want it to feel like you are very forcing yourself into each of those strokes of the quill. I want it to feel like it is an extension of your hand. I want it to feel like muscle memory, because and all this is going to sound very abstract, but making that connection with this character, I personally feel makes it easier and more smooth to channel this energy when you go to start casting spells.
Okay. So he'll start. He'll just start kind of going through it in order. But he will be like, is it possible to feel? Will I feel like a connection to a particular character, and that means something, or no?
It's possible. And if you do, we can work through those feelings as they come. sometimes it's not necessarily that you're feeling a connection to a particular character, but it's when those characters are put together in equations and arcane geometry. And arcane geometry is when we're you've probably seen before, it probably looks like nonsense, but like there's lots of circles and triangles and shapes that are drawn that where these characters are added in order to create kind of a spell that you can channel. It's when those characters are put together, you might feel a connection to a specific school of magic. And that's probably where you will feel that connection more.
Okay. I will continue just going through the alphabet.
Okay. She will sit with you while you take the time to write these characters. She's essentially, it's like kindergarten where you've got the little sheets of paper that have like the dotted line, like it's just over and over again.
He's got the tongue sticking out.
And she will sit with you until she's noticing that your brushstrokes with your quill are getting more fluid and less shaky and more confident, before she feels okay enough to be like, those are actually looking very good now.
It took a while because my hand instinctively wants to do something a little bit more like Elvish, and it's less swishy. It's less swishy than Elvish, so it's kind of practicing restraint.
each of the characters is very similar, which makes things a bit difficult, and it is very geometric almost, in that there's lots of very straight lines. But you are doing very well with it.
Thank you.
And it is okay if you want to continue. We can have another lesson another time, or we can move from here. It is entirely up to you.
I have no other pressing plans, so I am on your time.
Okay. So looking through, because she had been looking through the spell book while you were doing this. So when you looked through this spell book, was there anything that you say that you had kind of like a tip of the tongue sort of feeling with a lot of this, where you thought maybe you could understand it with a little instruction? Was there anything that jumped out particularly to you? Like, did you have any sort of, were you drawn to any one of these in particular?
Yes. I did sort of keep flipping. He'll like flip a few pages to maybe one that has a particularly like intricate ritualistic design. And I did keep coming back to. I kept on coming back to this one in particular.
Okay.
Like
This is a ritual spell, so I think that's actually a very good place to start. I like ritual spells because they take more time to cast, and in some situations that may not necessarily be beneficial, but taking time to cast a spell, I think, gives you more time to sit and feel what you're feeling. It gives you more time to trying to identify where that feeling is coming from. Because usually there is some sign that you are magically inclined. And I think for you, that's kind of with, you were showing me before, that's actually called a Mage Hand, at least in academic circles. It's kind of a incorporeal hand that you can use as an extension to like move forward and do things at a distance.
Okay.
For me, this kind of sign that I was more magically inclined, I actually began to go blind when I was about 3 years old. And when I did, and she kind of pats Ruse's head, he's been like sitting, like he like pulled his legs up close to him, and he's just been sitting on the table.
Bird love.
With like his like neck feathers kind of poofed up. And she kind of taps his head. This little man began to visit me, and my parents were a little weirded out by it and did everything that they could to get this raven to go away, but he kept coming back. And he actually used to bring me things that I needed, like when I was like 4 years old and I like couldn't find a toy that I wanted, he would bring me the toy. He like kind of helped me find my way around, basically learned how to help me function in my blindness. And then when I was sent away because of my magical abilities, he never left and he came with me. So there are usually signs that a person is magically inclined, and the fact that there is a, albeit a basic spell, which isn't bad, but a basic spell that you are already able to do, I would say that this is very promising moving forward.
Okay.
So what I'm going to ask you to do now, I want you to do that spell then, what I'm calling the Mage Hand. And I want you to take a moment to meditate sort of as you're doing it. I want you to kind of figuratively like reach into your gut and attempt to find where that energy is located. For me, when I'm casting all of my spells kind of come from my chest. It's just kind of this pressure, this energy that I can feel building up that's then released when I cast that spell. So I want you to kind of meditate and figuratively kind of reach inside of yourself and find where that same energy is as if you were doing this Mage Hand. So
Okay.
okay.
I'll try. Nova's much better at meditating. I'll try. So I'll conjure the Mage Hand.
Okay.
So he's gonna do kind of a typical pretzel sit, and I'll have his left hand on his knee and his right hand palm up, and he's gonna actually have the Mage Hand basically rest on top of it like that.
Okay.
I'm gonna just try and like focus for a bit.
Where do you feel that energy for Sir would be coming from?
Well, it's I don't know if this is exactly what you mean, because I feel like a what would it be? It's kind of like a well in like my stomach, in like my gut, but then it's like also like a river, and it moves from there like down my arm and like into my knuckles, sort of. But like there's I can only sort of describe it as water. You know, it's like there's this pool right in the pit of my gut, and it flows to my hand, specifically to my knuckles, though.
Okay. So you keep bringing up water. So moving forward with anything that we attempt to do today, I want that to be kind of how you think about it.
Okay.
I want you to think of your energy being kind of a pool from which you draw. What we are going to be attempting to harness is called the weave. Have you heard of that before?
You've been mentioning it a lot.
I have been mentioning it a lot.
I'm guessing it's not like a loom.
It's a good way to think about it. It's not a literal loom, but it is a good way to think about it. It is how casters of arcane magic kind of tap into this magical energy. It's controlled, or at least it is believed that it's controlled by the goddess Mystra, who is the goddess of magic herself. A lot of people, it's considered many, many things. Some people think it's her whole body. People think that it's the complete source of magic. But essentially, it is the fabric from which this energy that arcane magic users pull to do their magic.
Fabric, weaving, strands.
Exactly.
Got it.
But if water is how you are feeling it, then that's how I want you to think about it as we move forward.
Okay.
So, I think a very good spell for us to try today, and a very fun one too, if it's successful. Not everyone has a familiar. Do you know what a familiar is?
Do I know what a familiar is?
Roll
I mean,
history check.
I see one, but it's just straight 10.
Okay.
Right down the middle.
You have a basic understanding that it's an animal that helps out people who cast magic, basically.
It's like a magic animal. Is it like Ruse?
Yeah, Ruse is my familiar.
Okay.
People who have a familiar have a connection with some sort of spirit that takes on an animal form in order to be on the material plane to help you.
Okay.
It can come in many forms. It can come in the form of maybe a fey creature, some celestial being. It can even be fiendish. Ruse is a fey creature, specifically. I know this because he has told me. Generally, they can't really speak, but he and you usually kind of have a telepathic connection with them, and that's kind of how he and I communicate. He and I don't really communicate in words so much as it's very abstract in the way that we communicate. Images and feelings and colors and that kind of thing. Like, if he wants to tell me that someone went into the kitchen, he would show me like things that belong in a kitchen, like food and pots and pans and stuff, and then I can make that connection. So it's a very abstract way of communicating. But you can see through them like the way that I do. Like, you can use their perception to like look around. They can perform tasks for you, but generally it's this very intimate connection that you have with this spirit, or that's taken this form. Not everybody has one, and that's okay, but I think that it would be kind of fun to see if you do.
Is it always the same one?
No, actually, the ritual that we're about to perform, you can use to change the appearance of your familiar, because it does take magic. Ruse is always a raven. I personally, that's the form he decided to take, so I've kind of just let him keep that. I don't really change his form, but I do know wizards who will change their familiar from a bird like Ruse to like an octopus if they need their familiar to go underwater, or a fish if they need their familiar to go underwater, or a spider if they need their familiar to be able to climb walls. So there you do have options. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but personally, I believe that what the familiar shows up as is kind of an extension of the person, for whatever reason, and it can be interpreted in any kind of way that you like. But
okay.
And as she's talking, she's setting up this ritual. She's taken chalk and has begun to draw a big triangle with some circles on either side of the points. What I'm doing here is I'm setting this ritual up, and I can give you the Arcane Geometry to draw to do this yourself if this is successful. I'm going to show you the ritual first, so that then you can copy it. Because like I said, there are standardized ways to do this, and this is the standardized way to do it, so that you have something to build off of when you start to play with it and figure out how you want to do things. Cool. She takes a couple incense cones and lights them, and kind of a smoke starts to fill the air. She takes from her bag like a mortar and pestle and puts some charcoal and some herbs in it and kind of starts to grind them up, and sprinkles it over the arcane sigils that she just drew. And it is about 10 minutes of silence, or I'm sorry, a few minutes of silence before she starts to speak. This is normally something that she would probably speak under her breath, but as she is demonstrating for you, she is speaking more loudly so that you can hear the words that she is saying. And as she's speaking, you can hear that the language she is speaking, it's lots of hisses, lots of S noises, maybe like the letter S and the letter Z next to each other. There are a few sounds that sound like she's kind of trying to hack something up in her throat. And Ruse next to her, his feathers had gone from that very comfortable puffed up to flattened down again, because she doesn't change his appearance often. But she does this for another about 10 minutes that you were sitting here. And at the end of the 10 minutes, she makes a movement with her hand, the somatic component of this. And then Ruse, there's just like this kind of like almost like a puffing noise, like somebody just like a glaucoma test, like puffing noise. And Ruse changes from a raven to a weasel.
Oh. Wow.
So I use this ritual to show you it's the same ritual regardless of what you're doing. I just changed his appearance to a different animal.
Okay.
And she kind of scritches his head and is like, don't worry, buddy, I'll change you back.
But we're gonna see if one shows up for me.
Correct. Because for you now, this is kind of you reaching out into extraplanar areas to see if there is a creature who has a connection to you that will come to the material plane to help you in everything that you do.
And this is like one of the first things that like kids learn.
This is a lot of times because kids get really excited when they every kid wants if they have a familiar or not. So actually, yeah, generally when teaching young children, this is one of the things that we start with because
Wow.
it's something it's as you can see, like it's not a difficult ritual.
It's just when you describe it as like reaching into extra planes to bind a spirit to you, like it sounds kind of serious for kids. But okay, yeah.
So she begins to clean up the table. It's chalk, so it wipes away very easy. Brushes it into a bag that she carries for garbage because she uses a lot of material components. And slides a piece of paper over to you that has the arcane geometry on it for you to draw yourself.
Okay. So like I get like a piece of chalk.
Mhm.
And he like he's looking, he's like, oh my god, how do you all make like perfect triangles and circles every time? Oh, that's hard. This is hard. Does it have to be like a perfect circle?
No.
Okay. Okay.
In fact, if it's something that is a bit flawed, it's flawed because you drew it, and I think that increases the chance of this being a more personal ritual for you. So
That is a very nice way of putting it. That doesn't hurt my feelings. Thank you. So I would say his triangles are really good.
Okay.
He likes triangles. Circles are weird.
Okay.
Okay. And a little swish there. Okay.
Okay. So now light 3 incense blocks at each point of the triangle. Okay.
I have matches here, and I almost just like.
She slides over. No, she doesn't, because that doesn't make any sense. Because you wouldn't be able to read the sigils. So she says, now repeat after me. And she begins to say out loud the incantation. You are realizing that she was repeating the same, like, very short sentence, basically, over and over again. So once you get the sentence handy, you don't need her repeating it to you anymore. You're able to kind of repeat it yourself. And as you're speaking parcel tongue, she hands over the mortar and pestle, the charcoal, and a bundle of herbs so that you can do that as well. And she mimes sprinkling it over while you're sitting here and enchanting this over and over again. And she says, usually it takes about 10 minutes.
He's like, I'm just gonna keep chanting because I don't know if I can like stop to talk. So,
She nods in encouragement. After about 10 minutes of repeating this incantation that she's given you, she mimes the somatic component she did with her hand so that you can do it as well. And when that somatic component is completed, there is a flash of light in front of you. And when the light goes away, sitting in front of you is a little white duck with little orange beak and orange feeties. Ruse kind of jumps back a bit in his weasel form. And he does that thing that ferrets do where he like folds in half basically. And then he like leans forward and stretches to like sniff the duck. And the duck like shakes its head and flaps its wings. And he like startles and jumps onto Tempe's shoulder.
Temperance. It worked.
It did?
Hello. Oh my god, it's so tiny.
It quacks at you.
Pick him up.
It's yours.
Hey there. I'm Sir.
You can name him yourself if you want. They don't normally come with names.
Oh, all right. And I'm like looking at my like shelf of little carved ducks. I'll look at my favorite one. Oh, our name is Hickory. You like that? I like
It
wood.
quacks again. So the connection that Tempe was kind of telling you about is very readily apparent to you immediately. It's almost like there's something else in your head, but it's not uncomfortable. So when you ask this duck if they like this name, you can almost feel the emotion. There's like a connection that you have, like you can feel each other's emotions basically. And this like way of communicating is starting to kind of become apparent. It doesn't tell you yes, but you feel a positive energy coming from this connection.
He's just giggling. He's holding this tiny duck and he's just like
She begins to clean up from the ritual again.
That's amazing. I agree. Welcome to the world. I feel like I just like had a kid or something. I don't know what I'll do now.
You've got a familiar.
You wanna wait, look. I like hold Hickory up to the little duck carvings.
Hickory like moves forward and kind of mouths at the wood a little bit.
I must have been thinking about you for a while then, eh? Oh, you guys are gonna love this. What do familiars eat?
They don't.
Oh,
At least they don't
okay.
need to.
Okay.
They'll eat whatever they want. Brews particularly like sweets,
Okay.
but they're not like a pet in that you have to take care of them. And actually, let's try something now that we have Hickory here. I want you to imagine, set him down, and I want you to sort of imagine putting one of your wood ducks into a box.
Okay.
I usually snap my fingers when I do this, and she snaps her fingers and disappears. And Hickory is gone. They have their own plane or demi-plane, something that they go to where they can live their lives.
Okay. I thought I like killed him.
No. And actually, that's another thing I should probably tell you, that if they do die, and she like does the air quotes, they never actually die. They're just sent to this plane that they are from. And then you just need to do that same ritual again and they will come back.
Oh. Well, that ain't that bloody convenient.
So now imagine taking one of your wooden ducks out of a box. And Hickory is back.
Oh, I like that. Oh, that's great.
He's gone. Back. Well, I think that's a very good first lesson.
It is. Yes, that you are a wonderful teacher. Thank you.
Do you have any
so much.
questions?
I mean, I have a million, but you probably have places to be. I guess my question is, if because there's a specific reason why I wanted to learn this. One, because it is just simply something that I wanted to understand. But I do. How do I put this? I mean, I'm sort of like, I'm a little bit more of like a metal, like I'm a steel and iron kind of guy. My sword feels like an extension of my arm,
Mm-hmm.
and my shield feels like an extension of me too, and those are tools to make sure that my girls are safe. And I mean, you described magic as sort of like an extension of myself. I want to be able to use this tool to be able to reach farther. I want to be able to use it to keep them safe,
Okay.
if that helps for the future.
Okay. I mean, there are so many applications to magic that's 100% not impossible. There are many things that you can do to increase the power of your weapons. There are many things that you can do that, like, for example, there's even a spell that you could probably learn, and I can leave that with you if you'd like to kind of study, that creates a magical shield that protects people. There are things that are of that nature that is something that we can definitely touch on.
I don't want you to think that I'm not thinking of it like a weapon. I don't want you to think that. It's just my job has always been protecting people. And I just want to be able to do that better.
I understand.
Is all I mean. Okay.
Mhm.
I just I didn't want to sound maybe crass or whatever, like, oh, what's the spell that makes people turn inside out? Like, I don't care about that. I don't want to know if there's a spell that does that. There probably is. Just I want to I care about them a lot.
Magical instruction, formal instruction, and I wouldn't even call what we're doing currently as formal instruction, but magical instruction is not the only way that one can learn magic, which is why I made sure to kind of touch on saying that magic for every person is extremely personal and personalized. For example, my first like actual magical inclination was when Rouge showed himself. I must have accidentally created him somehow or reached out to him somehow. But I was 3 years old. I didn't sit here and create this ritual and crush something in a mortar and light incense and speak incantations over a fire. I was 3.
Right.
So the point being is that there is a level of instruction that I can give you, and I will give it to you. I'll continue to do that if you want. But harnessing this energy also means touching on your feelings. So the first time that I actually cast a spell other than a Find Familiar spell was an emotional burst. I was 3 years old and I was really angry about something, and then there was an emotional burst, and then I was suddenly shooting ice across a room.
That's a lot.
And again, I was 3. I didn't know any incantations, didn't know any components. I didn't have anything that I was using. I had no instruction. But this burst of emotion and energy is what caused me to cast the spell. So, which is why I wanted you to sit there and meditate for a minute and kind of find where that energy was coming, because that can help you moving forward and figuring out your ability. So you can, in a moment when you want to protect your friends, find that energy and you can create this shield or things like that. It doesn't always have to be with formal instruction, which is why I wanted you to understand where this energy within you is coming from as well.
Okay.
So I'm more than happy to come back, but if you want to explore that energy in those moments, something may happen.
Okay.
And then when it does, I can come back and I can say, okay, that happened. Let's touch on it and we can perfect it.
Okay. That sounds good. Yeah. I don't mind doing a little bit of homework, so to speak.
It's difficult because not everybody can identify emotion. That's a very learned skill, identifying the emotions that you're feeling. And not everybody goes through the process of learning those skills. I see you, Kristy. Not everyone goes through the process of learning those skills. It's something that is generally taught to children at a very young age. It's a very learned skill, so it might be difficult to try in those moments to identify what you're feeling so you can channel that energy in a way that you want.
Okay.
So it's going to take some practice. So I do actually recommend meditating in those moments where you're feeling a strong emotion.
Okay.
I'm going to take a moment. I am a psychology student. I am studying to be a therapist. I'm using my education in D&D.
I love this so much. Just clock him, Chel. Clock him.
Listen, at what point do I say?
I wish
also,
Nova
I
was
have
in this
amnesia
room
and
to
I
hear
woke
this
up in a corpse pile.
I just wish Nova was in this room to hear this conversation. It's so mwah, I love it.
I will do my best to try.
So in moments when you're feeling very strong emotion, take a moment to step away. Meditate on those feelings. Let yourself feel them. Move through them. Ride it like a wave.
What a metaphor.
Exactly.
Okay.
An attempt to identify it. Because the more you practice on identifying that, the more you are going to be able to channel that energy that you have clearly in a very constructive way rather than in a destructive way.
Okay. Thank you for your insight and your time.
I'm going to leave this stuff with you.
Okay.
There, and she actually begins to pull out a few more blocks of incense. 4 total. Blocks that they're basically incense cones that are stuck together, and you can break the cone off to use. She leaves the mortar and pestle. She leaves a couple bundles of charcoal and a couple bundles of herbs. You have enough for instances, I believe, of Find Familiar.
Okay. Just in case I blow them up.
Okay. I'm also going to leave the geometry just so that you can practice for the specific spell practice writing that. And I also want you to keep practicing the alphabet. That will be important in the future.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I am going to part ways with you for now, though, because a familiar coming into your life, Ruse is my best friend in the entire world. So it's important, I think, that you spend some time together.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah, he keeps Popping back in and out. Tell your friends I said hi.
I will, thank you.
Mhm.
If you find time in the evening and you would like to have a meal, maybe not a drink, but listen to some music, the Three of Cups is always open to you. And let us know. You can maybe get a little bit extra.
Okay, I will do that. Good luck. We can set up another time for me to come in, and definitely let me know if anything pops out, because I can come and kind of help you work through how to keep it
Okay.
under control.
Nervous, excited, nervous, excited, nervous, excited. Thank you.
She there is a what you could only describe as angry kind of squeaking and chittering coming from the weasel that's currently around her neck. And you can kind of hear her talking to him as she leaves, and she said, "I promise I will turn you back, okay?" As they're like going out.
He's just he's just boop, 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 boop.
You're starting to feel kind of an annoyance.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Just getting used to it. That's fine.
Angry duck begins to just plap, 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 plap.
Like the last time that he comes back, there's like a as he like yells at you.
Okay. Got it. Sorry. Sorry. Okay.
All right. What are we doing, guys?
At some point, because that probably like takes them like, I'm imagining like a couple hours.
Yeah.
I want to go check on Nova.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't know, I can't knock. I go to knock on the tent and realize that it's fabric and that I can't knock. So I sit there for a second. And then I just pull the flap away a little. Nova?
Tallice?
It's really smoky in here. Can I come in?
Sure.
I go in. Hi.
She's just wrapped in all of her purple blankets with her cards, just like, just sitting in silence.
Like a little cocoon or like a chrysalis, like you're gonna turn into a big purple butterfly.
That would be really nice.
You're kind of already like a purple butterfly.
Oh, thanks, Tallice.
So, do your like cards do that all the time? Is that like, has that ever happened before?
No!
That's really weird.
I know!
Why do you think that happened? Well, So, like, is the reason that they're always right and calling people out on their bullshit because they're, like, actually magical and now we have proof that they're actually magical and it's not just, like, a trick or, like, it's just coincidence? Because I'm not saying I thought that you were doing a trick, but, like, I kind of thought you were doing a trick. No offense.
I mean, I'm used to that.
That's just kind of what I'm used to.
No, I don't know. They've always just kind of like guided my way. Whenever I get my pull, the cards kind of just help me get there. Whenever I'm confused or don't know what to do. I mean, I've been by myself for so long, and till I found you guys at the circus, the cards led me to you. But they've never changed like that before.
Yeah. It's still your cards, right? They're not like cards that look a lot like yours, but that one corner isn't bent and someone actually, they switched it out, but that's how you know?
Yeah, I'm...
Wait, you're not muted.
Okay, just making sure.
No,
you're good.
They're back to normal, right, Chel?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, my cards are back to normal now.
So then I guess all that weird stuff that you do is, like, actually real?
That's what I've been saying this whole time! But no one ever
So then-
believes me.
So then all the dreams are real?
Yeah, that comes from your soul. I mean, your soul doesn't lie.
How are you feeling?
Uncertain?
Are you worried about this like little prophecy thing? Or like whatever this impending doom is?
I mean, even if the card itself wasn't a bad omen, I'd still be pretty concerned. Honestly, just because the cards have never been proactive. Usually they're reactive.
Yeah, like usually you choose to reach out to them. They don't usually reach out to you, right?
Exactly, yeah. Because I only reach out to them when I need guidance, and if I have my own ideas, I'll choose my own ideas. But if I come to a cross point and I don't know what to do, or if someone else is at a cross point and they don't know what to do, I ask my cards.
I don't know why that happened, but I'm sorry that a couple days ago I was saying that the dreams weren't real, because that wasn't very nice, and it's obviously important to you, and it's obviously like an actual thing, and I'm really sorry that this weird stuff is happening, and I'll definitely make sure that you don't fall down again. I'll try to like be the one that falls down the next time.
Well, I don't want that either.
No, that's all right. I'll be fine.
No, it's okay. I know that, well, every single person I meet usually has similar reactions. I mean, Ace said that it was just a fluke until we saw all of the cards were the exact same one. So you're not the only one that's told me that what I do is fake or just coincidence or just pulling from different parts of the mind that are more susceptible. It's easier for people to make that connection that it's just a coincidence, then it's easier for them to believe that than believe that I'm right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's kind of why I was like a little upset, because it was really weird to see that, and I don't really understand what was going on still. And like, sometimes you just don't want to see that there's like a bad thing happening, but now we really know that there's a bad thing happening. And as much as I would like to pretend that it wasn't, it's like kind of hard to just pretend in like, when in no uncertain terms is something going to happen, you know? So I'm sorry for doubting you.
Does that mean you're open to hear what I wanted to tell you before? You can take your time. We don't have to rush it. Like, I know it's a lot for people.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You can tell me, because I mean, I have Bramble is here now, and like we just came up with like a whole dance routine, which was like really cool, and I'm just like feeling like really great. And I made him like a little bed out of moss, so we're just hanging out. So I definitely feel like a lot better. I guess I'll hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up what I sent to Chel a while ago. So after we did that dream, I pulled a card that day, but you were very not receptive to me or the cards, and I understood that, and I wanted to give you space, but I've kept it in mind this whole time in case you did change your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I pulled the Reversed World card. The Reversed World card suggests that you are seeking closure on a personal issue. Perhaps you're still emotionally attached to a past relationship and want to move on. You know deep down that to accept and embrace where you are now, you need to let go of the past and move on. Finding closure may be an intensely personal journey, something you manage through journaling or visualization, energy work, and therapy.
You know, it's really weird that you bring that up, because like I haven't thought of my parents really hardly at all in like years, and then all of a sudden Sir's trying to tell me what I'm supposed to do with my life and who I'm supposed to be talking to. And like, oh, why do you have to call me out like that retroactively?
I've just been sitting on it this whole time. I didn't want to push you.
I didn't even know you were gonna call me out, and then you did. Well, that's the first thing that comes to mind, honestly, because I've just been really irritated at you guys telling me who I can and can't talk to, but...
I don't want to tell you who you can and can't talk to. You have to make those decisions for yourself. You're an adult. Well, Ace might, but not me.
Alright, well, like, Ace can get bent for all I care. Oh, can I pick a card for you? Will you tell me what it means? Yeah, if I don't know what they mean, but can I think about you and then pick a card?
Sure.
And then you tell me what it means? Yeah. Let's do it. Maybe like the whole deck will turn into like, is there like a card that's like purple unicorn butterfly girl?
No. Although I could probably make one.
There probably should be, honestly. What is it? What good are these cards if there's no purple unicorn butterfly girl?
Roll a percentile, honey.
67.
Oh,
so close to the perfect number.
Okay.
While they're doing that, what is he going to do after he's done with his lesson with Tempe? Is he staying in his room? Is he going downstairs?
I mean, no. Hickory's got to see the place. I mean, I would want to show it to the girls first, obviously. But like he's got like free waddle of the room, and
Pick a card between 1 and 13, BB.
10.
And maybe he would be like, so like, are you a Fae? Are you a celestial? Like, what are you, buddy? I don't know.
Evil devil duck.
Are you a fiend?
Quack quack.
I will get to that in just a sec if Kristy has stuff. But good to know.
I don't know why that has Arabic on it, but ignore that caption in the Discord.
Sorry, just looking it up. Okay. Time to clock myself. So it's the reverse of the Empress. There's a moon.
Reversed Empress?
Yeah, there's a moon in the background. She's sitting on a throne.
There's some purple.
There's definitely purple. I'm trying to see what's in the background here. Yeah, it's like a symbol of Venus. Okay, so reverse. The Empress encourages you to make self-love and self-care a priority. Now is the time to bring your loving energy and focus to yourselves, especially if you've been giving away your personal power by placing too much emphasis on another person's emotional or material needs, thus neglecting your own. Book a girls' weekend, go for a walk on your own, start a creative project that's just for you. It's essential that you fill your cup and care for yourself, and then take care of others without resentment. You might be experiencing a creative block, especially when it comes to birthing a new idea or expressing yourself creatively. You may worry whether it'll be a success or if your work is appealing to others.
Oh god!
So get clocked, Kristy!
No.
Well, thanks! Thanks. In your relationships, you may take the mothering role too far. You may be overprotective and controlling. It's time to shift your focus from mother-child relationship to adult relationship, creating independence, trust, and loving compassion.
Does Nova say that stuff?
You see Nova's actually blushing a little bit, and she's like, well, shit. She does tell you, probably not everything, but she'll tell you most of it. She probably won't tell you about, the controlling part. She'll specifically neglect to mention her being too controlling.
The controlling part was you try to control. What was that part again?
By being a mother, controlling others and like getting them to. She's. Yep. No, she doesn't mention that. She mentions everything else.
So does that mean? I have a duck. Does that mean that, like, I'm also, like, a really cool psychic? Or does that just mean that the cards are magic?
That just means that the card is connected to your question. It's listening.
How do you know that? Maybe I can read people's dreams too, Nova.
Maybe. That'd be
No, I'm
cool
just kidding. I can't do that. We could, like, read each other's dreams. Wait! You don't dream, do you?
Nope, I don't.
Oh. Well, then maybe... It sounds like you need to make your life a dream right now.
I actually really like that.
I could probably help you with that.
I think you could.
I'm just saying, we could, like, go to a bathhouse. We could just go. We could, like, honestly, I don't even know how much it would cost to rent out the whole thing, but we could try to find out. Maybe we can afford it. We have, like, all this adventurer money now.
You want to rent out the entire bathhouse?
Yeah, it'll just be the three of us in this huge fucking vat of water, and we could all sit at, like, different corners and just yell at each other. That's actually not that peaceful.
I was gonna say, that doesn't really sound relaxing.
I think it sounds exciting, but we could go to, like, bathhouse, and then we could go and we could get a lot of, like, delicious snacks, and then I was gonna say we could go and have a picnic in the City of the Dead, but there's, like, wind stuff. I don't even know, so we couldn't do that
unless we go fix that.
Yeah, do we want to go fix that? Should we, like...
How long has that been happening for? It's been a minute.
I just start yelling for Sir.
Like 4 or 5 days now.
Yeah, because we
can we
been
take
gone, like,
a
when we
quick
saw that, it was like a couple
break, guys? My food is here and I have to pee.
Yeah, now's a good time to do that.
Go for it.
Sorry to interrupt at this point.
No.
Before Ace comes down to discuss
How's
the
it
wind.
already 10 o'clock? I wanna play more.
Okay. So we'll take a 5 to 7 minute break, and we will be back with more Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Hell yeah, BRB fam. We're back.
What were we doing?
I don't even know.
Hi,
I was
everyone.
literally just
Hi.
screaming for Sir.
Welcome back to Waterdeep Dragon Heist Resurfaced. Sorry, I saw a picture that made me make that face. We are back now. Sir has gotten familiar. Nova and Tallice were talking. What would you guys like to do?
I'm yelling for Sir.
Okay.
I don't remember why, but I'm yelling for
For
Sir.
the City of the Dead, the wind problem.
Oh yeah, because we don't know what's going on.
So there's like a
Do we hear a plap plap?
well, no, you hear the stomp 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 stomp. Is anyone dead? No.
No, come here! Get in here! Get in this tent!
He kind of like comes in and he's got like one arm behind his back.
Are you?
What you hiding?
What? Do you think you're being clever right now?
No. What?
Go like this. What the fuck?
Wow.
A duck
Wow.
materializes in the air in front. It's like when ducks get startled.
Magic.
And
It's
lands on
probably
the ground.
real mad.
It's so
You
cute.
hear the little slap of its feeties on the ground as it's like walking around the room.
Oh.
He's literally Will Smithing like, and then he's like
Just hard styling with your duck.
yeah. He's like, oh, I got a familiar because I can do magic.
That's really cool. What's their name?
His name is Hickory.
Oh, that's so cute.
Wait, Bramble, are you my familiar?
He like pops up from one of the plants. Or where are you? You're in.
We're in the
you're
tent.
we're in the
Nova's
tent.
tent.
It's probably in some like
One of the
What
one of the
pillowcases?
pillows
The
gets
hookah.
like knocked away, and like he's like behind it. Well, what did you think I was?
I don't know, just like a guy coming to hang out.
Well, Temperance said that a familiar specifically is more of it takes the form of an animal spirit, and you're not a tiny man. So
He just looks up at you.
I'm sorry. Would you prefer to be called a familiar instead of a tiny man?
I am a special kind of familiar.
You're a special little man.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. All right, do you want to see this thing that Bramble and we just figured out before I came down here that we could do this? And you tell me if you can do this, all right?
Is this what you were yelling my name for? No, because you didn't know I had a duck, so. But go on. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to, using my voice of the Chain Master, I'm gonna speak through Bramble, and I'm gonna make him say, "Fuck you."
So you see his little mouth move. Does his voice, and he says, "Fuck you."
You did a ventriloquist act.
No, I don't know how to do ventriloquism, although I am multi-talented. But, like, I can, like, talk through him. So, like, if I... Okay, here, wait. Look out this window to the front of the house. Bramble, you stay here. And I'll run outside. And then I'll make him say, "Fuck you" again.
He like climbs on top of one of the pillows, holds his hands up when she says "fuck you." Fuck you.
And then I run back in.
You're a little winded. Up and
Yeah.
down.
But can you do that?
No. I can make him disappear and reappear, though he doesn't like me to do it back and forth. We talked about that. I got
Bramble
express
can
permission
disappear
for
and
the.
reappear too.
Okay, well, I can look through his eyes.
So I can probably do that with Bramble too.
Nova's just sitting in between the two of them as they're trying to compare notes between familiars, and I'm just like,
He can fly.
Bramble literally has tiny wings on his back. Are you kidding me? Can your familiar go invisible?
I mean, I can make him disappear. What's the difference?
Bramble, go invisible and show him that you're still there. So he'll go invisible and he'll pinch Sir somewhere.
Okay. You go invisible and you feel a pinch on your butt.
Aye.
And then he'll reappear as soon as Sir turns around.
Above the belt.
No, I think we should keep going below the belt.
No, we're not.
Tiny man.
Well, you know what? And I just pick up Hickory like this. Look at that face, though.
That's true. Bramble, when you run around, do your feet make little slapping noises like that? I think that's the one thing he's got on.
He jumps to the ground with like a glide of his wings. Starts to run around in circles. There are no little noises.
Oh, that's all right.
Does he jingle? Does he jingle when he runs, or is it just little boots?
Just little boots.
Like little.
Well, but yeah. So this is what Tempered showed me how to do.
That's really cool, Ace. Good job.
And thank you. And she said that I should practice, and she said a lot of things, and I promised that I took notes, but it's a lot. I got to practice the alphabet. I got to get in touch with my emotions. I got to think. I got to think about water and the weave and I should maybe learn Draconic as a language. It's a lot.
Wait, why do you have to learn Draconic?
Well, she was saying that it would be easier because the base of.
I could help teach you Draconic if you want.
You can speak Draconic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to speak it for your spells?
Well, sort of. I mean, you don't need to understand it, but you're using Draconic language for the casting of spells. Well, at least that's how she says that wizards do it.
That's weird. I don't. I say something completely different when I cast my spells.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that you say very nice things when you cast spells.
It's like a little fairy language. It's not Draconic. It's like the language of the fairies.
Did you know that the Raven Roos that is with Temperance? First off, is her familiar, but that apparently he's from the Fae. Whoa, he's like a Fae spirit.
Well, no, I didn't know that, but now I know how she knew about us talking about Davil. So that's really good to know, because I didn't know what a familiar was at that time.
Hickory here is Hickory, what are you? And I hold him up to my face.
Looks like a
you get
I turn him
sorry,
upside down.
I'm echoing a little bit right now. You get I know you're not gonna like this. Images of fire.
It is an evil duck. Where's the Arabic?
Okay. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, look at me. Is that not fitting?
Can we make him a little set of horns that match yours, and maybe attach some streamers to his tail, so when his tail wiggles around, it's like a little like your tail.
I put him kind of up on my shoulder slash neck. I don't know. I mean, we just met, so I'm trying to just sort of get used to him a bit before I, put little horns on him.
I mean, I think it would be really cute if we made him a small sweater. Do you think we could find someone who knits or crochets and make him a small sweater, with the little holes for his wings?
We could probably go
Like
to
a little
kid's
hat.
doll store.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, we got to have. Hey, we got to have a little talk about it.
Speaking of talk,
Yeah.
Should we do
Yes.
something about the City of the Dead?
Yeah, because there's like wind stuff going on, and I wanted to have a picnic, but if there's like crazy wind storms, then we probably like can't go there. Also, if everything's gonna blow up soon, we should probably do it now.
Yeah. I mean, did you want to?
Well, Tallice said she
Investigate.
wanted a picnic there, but then I was like, that's probably not very safe because, you know.
Okay.
I
I
mean-
mean, the City of the Dead actually probably would be a safer place for me to practice. Anyway, is open.
I just
You
don't
know,
know
instead
if,
of,
like,
like-
running into danger is something we should do after getting these omens, or, you know. Like,
I
what should
think
we
we
do?
should-
I don't know what we should do.
I feel like
I mean,
we
do
should
you
run
want
into
to wait
danger.
around?
I don't know. It's
No.
either that we just sit on our hands and wait for people to die.
Yeah, no, that shit's definitely like coming to us full force. Like we're gonna be out and about, and it's gonna go down. So we might as well enjoy life now.
I mean, I don't know about you two, but I mean, knowing that it's coming, I sort of want to do anything but sit around, you know? I want to be
Yeah.
safe, I want to be smart, but I mean, sitting around just waiting for it is torture. I'd
Yeah.
rather just get it over with, you know? We got stuff to do.
I think we should go to the yawning portal and get that little flyer that was there, and then figure out who we need to talk to, and like
Okay.
just go and see what's happening. And then we'll have
Yeah.
even more money, and then we can rent out the bathhouse and sit at different corners of the tub and
Oh.
yell at each other.
Oh, what?
No, I think we have the paper from. I think we took it.
Yeah, I think yeah,
you
you
take the
ripped a
Okay.
couple of them. I think it's in the
Yeah.
in one of your bags. I don't know, your big bags.
How long has it been since then?
It's only been a couple days.
Like 4 days ish.
Okay. What is time?
Well,
Well,
was it just
because-
like show up? I don't remember if it was just
When-
like show up to the city. I might have it written down.
When we pulled it, we ended up doing the scarecrow thing instead,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
immediately finishing the scarecrow thing, we did the job for Vajra. So
I just have unexplained windstorms in City of Dead. I don't have who wrote it.
Well, you have the papers, so I don't mind reminding you. Unexplained windstorms are happening in the City of the Dead. We have had to shut it down to mourners and priests alike until safety can be guaranteed. Any adventurer who may be able to help, please report to Father Tyre or Sister Sumali at the Temple of Wonders in the Sea Ward. A reward will be provided.
That's actually a really good idea because if Draken wants you to do those burial rites,
I was
you're not
just
gonna be able
thinking
to.
that.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to do that if the City of the Dead is like.
Yeah, I was just thinking that actually.
all right,
I know.
it sounds like the logical next thing to do.
Yeah, so let's go to the Sea Ward with our little babies.
Okay. You want to just sit on my shoulder?
I just look at my cards. I'm like, you're my familiar. It's okay.
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, like it did go and act on its own, so it's like kind of like it's
Technically,
alive. Just really shitty.
everyone's got their own familiar, and then Nova's just like, you're still special. It's okay. You just scared me. That's all.
Where do you
I'm not
carry
mad
it,
at you.
Duck?
I'm just scared.
I mean,
Well, I mean, like, why not put it on your head? Like, it can like be supported on either side by your horns.
Oh,
It's like
that'd
a
be
nice
cute.
little carriage. You could like knit a little basket that goes on either side of your horns to the back of your head, so you can like sit back on your head,
That'd be
or
pretty
just
cute.
hold him like a little.
I agree.
He like waddles over. Well, slap. And then
You get it like straight to the
just-
forehead of his foot. Smack.
yeah, opens its wings and kind of flies up to above your head and then just very unceremoniously drops down.
Just does the duck melt the.
Yep, exactly.
No.
Probably like doing little tiny foot adjustments on your head.
Pat, 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 pat.
All right, that works for now. I mean, I look totally super threatening, but sure. Okay, let's go to the temple and see what we can do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Temple of Wonders, Seaward, Dre.
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 Yeah, that's pretty far.
Okay. When you guys all head downstairs, the tavern is being set up for the day. Your employees are kind of running around, getting things ready to go. But you're more than welcome to step outside
What
if
time
you
of
would like.
day is it?
Say it's probably about noon. So
Okay,
people
so we
are
have
like
4 hours
prepping.
to get this out of the system and come back.
Yeah. So people are to get this out of your system.
Adventuring on a time clock.
Let's go.
So yeah, you can step outside into the cool fall air and get your Dre. That will be a copper from each of you, please.
Yep, already did it.
All right.
Done.
Okay.
Done.
All right. So your Dre takes you west from where you are to the Seaward. Most wards of the city, the North Ward and the Sea Ward, are right next to each other. I know.
To the Temple of Wonders. Isn't that? Oh no, it's the Cave of Wonders in Aladdin. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's just a giant sentient panther.
Hell yeah!
Okay. So moving westward to the Sea Ward, the Temple of Wonders, if I remember correctly.
I feel like we just went in a way that Chel was like.
Sounds like,
No,
sure, okay.
No, I've had this prepared for a while. Don't
Okay,
worry. I just
good.
had to go and find it and pass.
Listen, you motherfuckers.
Chel's just like, I'm gonna read you on. Chel's so done with our random shenanigans. We're just like,
No, you're fine, Shush.
We also don't even know if this is like actually dealt with in the last 4 or 5 days or not.
They
Like,
could have, yeah.
Yeah,
I
they coulda
mean,
dealt with it.
there's
We don't know.
There's other adventures.
it's been 4 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe they're dead.
Oh, that escalated.
So you head to the Temple of Wonders in Seaward of Waterdeep. The temple, it does not look like typical temples. It is almost like an academic sort of building. Think like Yale.
Oh.
And it's got a lot of pillars on the outside. It's actually got 2 separate buildings that have kind of been pushed into this amalgamation of a building. And from the right side of the building, you can actually hear a lot of like metal clanging. There's a couple like crashes, a lot of activity from people. And then there's like the left side that's a bit quieter.
Is it like
Ooh.
industrial sounds?
Almost, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna ask if it was instruments.
Oh.
Dang it!
Sorry.
You're fine.
Maybe there's a little bit of construction. Let's. When you just say we got 2 names, right?
Yeah, what were those names again?
Father Tyre and Sister Sumali.
Tire, like on a car?
Tyre, but yes. And above both of the doors to each side of the temple, there is a gold, what looks to be the shape of like a gear.
Are we going into the loud building or the quiet building? Loud building!
I mean, Is the loud building where a father and a sister would be? I mean, shouldn't we go to more of the temple part?
I mean, why does
Why
the
are-
priest have to
why
be like
are-
quiet?
Oh, why are we talking to a priest for? Well, I mean, I guess the city
For
of
the
the
city
dead
of the
has.
dead. They probably oversee the area and probably have the keys to open the gates.
What is this temple even for? Do I know what this temple is for?
Roll a religion check.
Oh yeah, I got a 1 million bonus to that. And by 1 million I mean +1. 15.
The gear symbol you recognize is a Gond. Gond.
That's the creator.
Gond is the god. I just had it up. Where did it go? The Lord of all Smiths. He is generally a he oversees people who do a lot of craft work, smith work, sort of deal.
Cool. I say that to my friends,
Okay.
just so they know. So maybe they're like building like a sword. They could be in the loud room, I'm just saying.
Okay, we can go into the loud room.
Yeah. We go into the loud one.
You enter the room. There is quite a bit of noise when the door opens that kind of just like wafts over you. It's also very hot because there are a lot of forges set up in this room. A lot of metalwork is being done in here of various types. People walking around, overseeing any work. There's a lot of people here that are doing smith work essentially.
Does anyone look like cool or like they're wearing a crazy outfit?
Crazy outfit? No,
Like
a lot of these
priest-
people are dressed more to work than to form over function or function over style basically.
Is there anyone who's like not actively like hammering a piece of metal?
yeah.
Like maybe they're taking a break.
Yeah. There's a lot of people. There's a few people walking around. There's someone that's leaning up against an anvil and taking a drink of water. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're going to water person.
Okay. A dwarven man who has very long brown curly hair and a beard that's braided down in front of him. Finishes taking a drink out of his water skin and kind of looks up at you.
Hi.
Hello?
Where could I find Father Tyre or Sister Sumali?
You're probably not going to find them here unless they're taken around.
Dang it.
They come and check in occasionally to make sure that things are going according to plan. Regarding what we're working on, most likely going to find them in the temple area.
The quiet building?
Yes, it's the quiet building. I know it's not as exciting. What are you looking for him for?
We saw there's like a thing posted about the city of the dead, and we're here to help them.
Oh, about the wind,
Yeah.
windstorms.
Uh-huh.
Okay, well, I mean, you'll find him if you go through and he points to a big set of doors. Those doors right there. I'm not sure what they're doing right now, but they're always willing to talk to people, so.
Thanks, Mr. Guy. Have a nice day.
You too.
And I go through those doors. And I'm skipping.
All right. Going.
If you were talking.
Just thanks, Mr. Guy.
Going through those doors. When there's like a blast kind of cool air as you enter, there's a very stark temperature difference from the two areas. It is set up as close, like it's very recognizable as a temple. There are places to sit and pray. There's an altar kind of at the front. But the ceiling is adorned with very large gears, like as decoration, that are all turning and moving together. So there's kind of this like clockwork noise almost as you're moving into this room, this very rhythmic noise.
Nice.
Hmm.
There are people that are like walking around. People that are sitting in the almost pews. Not quite pews, but because they're very industrial. They're not made out of wood. They are made out of metal and they are welded together. But there are a few individuals that are walking around wearing kind of saffron colored robes and sashes that have like different tools in them.
Should we like go talk to one of those people? They have sashes.
Yeah, and they've
No,
got like
Can we get sashes? We don't have any sashes.
There's like their robes are kind of bunched up a bit around the waist because they've got like a gold belt of like different rings that are interlocked together.
Dang. I think
and all of them also have journals on their belts as well.
Like that would look really cool. Just a thought.
Why don't you go talk to who you want to talk to?
Who looks the coolest?
There is an older man, I suppose, that most of the saffron-robed people seem to occasionally move up to and speak to. He does not have any hair on the top of his head, but he does have a very long gray beard. Very sun-worn skin. It's kind of leathery. Very clearly has been working for much of his life.
That guy looks like he's probably seen some crazy monsters. Come on.
Okay.
We're coming with you.
Okay, so you walk up to the man. He turns to greet you, smiles warmly. The balls of like his cheekbones right here are very red. Kind of squinty smile as you walk up.
Hi.
Hello. What can I do for you?
We're looking for Father Tyre or Sister Sumali.
Well, you're speaking to Father Tyre.
I knew it. You're the coolest looking guy in here.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Oh, what can I do for you today?
We saw. Where's the paper? Who has the paper?
I have the paper. Here, I hand it forward.
Yeah, we saw this paper, and we want to help.
He takes it from you, kind of takes around his neck. He's got kind of a pair of glasses on a chain that he pulls up. It's on his nose, like half moon gold glasses. Reads the paper. Oh, yes, the windstorms in the City of the Dead. You are surprisingly the first group that's come to see me about it.
Wow.
Hasn't it been like 4 days?
It's been a bit of a time. The Watch has attempted to take care of what's going on, but with the fact that it is wind, there's not much tangible to grab onto, I suppose.
Okay, that's true.
So you're interested in taking on the challenge, then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of.
We want to have a picnic in the City of the Dead.
Yeah.
And that's not very possible with everything going on.
No.
Understandable.
And there's also potentially a funeral happening soon, and if I were to help perform that rites, can't really access City of the Dead.
Also fair. Not that I'm doubting your ability, but I just want to make sure if your reasoning for doing so is simply because you picnic, I just want to make sure that you're going to be okay and safe doing so.
Oh, Mr. Tyre, listen, okay, like, we killed some hags, and we killed some scarecrows, and we killed a manticore, and we killed some people, but they were bad people, don't worry.
That
Wow.
is a gross that is an oversimplification. We don't just kill things. We are serious.
We solved problems. We, like, figured out that the hags at Snow Beetle Meadery were, like, making the scarecrows come to life, and then we, like, stopped them from doing it. We're, like, basically really good problem solvers, and the Black Staff had us go to the top of the mountain to talk to this guy.
Oh, the Blackstaff.
Yeah.
You're
She's, like,
under,
basically our best friend now.
you're
Hello,
under
Bubbles.
Vajra's hire. Okay. Well, that is as good an accolade as any.
Yeah, Temperance taught him magic. Temperance is, like, Vajra's apprentice. Do you like his duck? She taught him how to make that.
I do see the duck, yes.
It's a pretty good duck.
It's a very good duck.
I'm also very good with a sword. He's new.
All right. Well, if you would like to take on the challenge, it's very simple. We don't really necessarily know what is going on in the City of the Dead, so task 1 would be to go and figure it out, and then eradicate the issue.
Okay. And the wind has been completely persistent, or does it come and go?
Is it
It's only when people enter and attempt to use the facilities.
Okay.
At, like,
And-
all times a day?
At all times of day. We've even had to eliminate anyone coming in and maintaining the ground in the evenings because they are being thrown about by the wind.
Alright.
Is it just, like, throwing them around, or is it, like, killing people?
Nobody has died as of yet, but I feel that things being thrown around and tossed and people injured is enough of a problem.
I agree. Alright.
Is there, like, a spot in the City of the Dead where the winds seem to be strongest, like a particular entrance that it's, like, really quick or really strong? Or, like, a particular direction?
I believe that the southern entrance, rather than west, is where most of the activity is. But we have seen sporadic windstorms. If you can call them storms, they're not actually coming from the sky, is the issue. We have seen them sporadically about all of the City of the Dead, but I do agree that they seem to be concentrated toward the southern end.
Okay. And then I suppose that should be where we begin our search.
Right.
There is a reward for a successful job.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
Nova's not pressing. She
what is-
doesn't care.
I mean, I'm interested for incentive reasons, but
Funded by the city, specifically Laryl herself has funded this reward. There will be a reward of 150 gold per person.
Nice.
that is why I suppose we all pay our taxes. Okay. It's taxpayer money.
Wow.
I mean, I got everything that I need to do it.
Had anyone noticed, was the wind, like, attacking, like, little creatures, like little animals in there, or was it just attacking people? Did anyone, like, notice? Is it, like, hurting the trees, or is it just people?
I believe it's just people. I haven't particularly paid attention enough to notice if, like, squirrels and any
Birds.
other manner of small creature were affected. I would be interested to know if potentially the creatures have moved out for the meantime, or maybe perhaps even migrated more north in the City of the Dead to see if they could get away from, because it's a very strong wind. People are being knocked off their feet and thrown into the air. That's not just a normal storm. So I would not be surprised if they migrated northward in the City of the Dead to get away from it.
Okay. I suppose we should
Take
set off
care
and-
of it.
Do we need a key?
Yes, you do actually. Thank you for reminding me. And he reaches into his pocket, pulls out a big key that has like a leather piece of string basically tied onto it.
Really
Passes it over.
Sounds.
Yeah.
Here you are. It's one of these. I don't know which one. Have at her.
Yeah. He hands you a key. This is a copy of the main key, but I do expect the return of this key. I do not expect you to keep it at all.
Of course. Don't worry, none of us are rogue classes.
So he goes to hand you the key, and then he actually pulls it back. I'm sorry, do you have proof that you've been working with Vajra? Just for my peace of mind, handing over a key.
We still have the things?
Yep, we do.
Ding, 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 ding.
Peace of mind for me, just making sure. I'm handing you over a key to a big port city.
Also, if you want to double check your our sources, you could check around about the Three of Cups.
Okay, good enough. The what is the word? This is Chel.
Talk around it.
The coin.
Reward.
Token?
Coin.
Reward? Oh, the pendant.
Badge, the little...
Thank you, the pendant. The pendant is enough for me. Thank you.
That was all in character.
The little emblem.
That was me. I'm like, sources? No, references. But I said sources, so whatever.
Okay.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, like, you check a resume.
Key acquired. Shall we?
Wait, which one of us is going to hold the key and unlock the door before the raid happens? Okay. Let's divinity this shit. Who's unlocking the door?
Girl, a regular wind could push you over. I should open the door.
Okay.
My patron does something.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking about Gauntlet, but yeah.
I don't know that.
Yeah, true.
Unless you want to say something right now.
I'm thinking it, but I'm not saying it.
Then I will take the. Then I shall take the key. Okay. You want to go now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, Mr. Guy. Mr. Father Tire.
Mr. Guy Father Tire.
Mr. Guy was
Mr. Father Guy. Mr. Father Tire.
We go.
Drake.
Okay.
Dre. Copper.
Another one.
Can we
Another one.
buy a bus pass?
We gave Silas 2 gold. That's
I know, but can we buy a bus pass that's good for a month? Can we do that?
Do we get the adventurer rate? Can we get the adventurer rate if we prove we're working with the black staff? It's a student rate.
It's a copper. Why are we being? If we can never pay a copper,
we should just give all of the dray drivers 2 gold each, and then just be like.
You remember
I mean,
us.
we know where the stables are to do that.
We go to the southern gate of the city of the dead.
On our to-do list.
Okay. All right. So heading down from the Sea Ward, past the market, actually, you can see when you're moving through the city past the market, it appears that there is something being set up. The market stalls are still there and people are kind of operating around it, but it appears that there is something being set up. There's a stage being set up. There are a few other stalls that are being set up. Yeah.
Harvest.
Did we establish, is this the Halloween equivalent? Because I had said on the first episode, or probably even before that, I have a Halloween costume.
No.
You're just waiting for it.
This is not the Halloween equivalent.
This is harvest.
So it's the Thanksgiving equivalent.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It's celebrating the harvest. The holiday that you were thinking of is Liar's Night, and that is not, I believe, until Marpanaut, and you guys are still in Elian.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It's how many months? One?
I think it's next month, actually.
It's next month. End of next month.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, it is the 30th of Marpanoff.
Okay. Gate.
Okay. So, moving past the market, seeing that there is something being set up for some sort of separation into the castle ward, you move a bit further east of the city, just above the trade ward to the southern gate of the city of the dead. It is closed and locked. People are not being allowed in at this time.
Are there
You can
guards?
see, no.
Wow.
No.
You're such a rebel. Yeah, freedom. No cops.
No cops.
The Dre drops you off, however, and there you are.
Okay.
So, like, do we just want to go in, like...
Can I do a perception check through the gate before we enter?
Absolutely.
Cool. Because I'm assuming it's like barred, like horizontal.
Oh, yeah, is it a bard gate?
Barred gate. We lose
Oh.
out.
Oh, they're
Oh,
frozen.
oh,
Oh, God, everyone is glitching. Everyone
Oh,
is getting so loud. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hello. That was wow.
Whoa! What happened?
Is it like bars
Are
on the
they-
gate?
Yeah, is it like this? Like these type of bars?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I look? Do I see any? If I'm just looking in, like not going in, do I see any like little creatures, or like any signs of little creatures, like squirrel poop?
You do not actually.
19 perception.
Chris. Oh, okay. So, looking through the gates, you guys have never really like paid too much attention to the City of the Dead in your time in Waterdeep so far. The City of the Dead is not your typical cemetery. It's not your typical like headstone after headstone. It is a park basically. It has lots of rolling grassy hills. There are tended flower beds that still have a little bit of blooming going on for the last sort of blooms for the annual flowers. There are very artfully placed clusters of trees and trimmed brush, lots of sculptures around. There's like a gravel path that leads straight through the City of the Dead to the other ends of it. There's even like a little tiny little creek basically that like runs through it that has like bridges that are going over it. And what you're seeing is not actually headstones, but it is a collection of mausoleums. In Waterdeep, these mausoleums, there are a few that are like very specific to like different noble families, but there are a lot of mausoleums that they're bigger on the inside. When you go in, it's like that is where the cemetery is. They figured out kind of like a demi-plane sort of situation to maintaining their dead, because the Waterdeep is a very big city and eventually you kind of run out of space.
Doesn't that also help with like people trying to like bring them back to like necromancy? Like it helps them like prevent it. Nice.
Because people don't have direct access to the corpses, to the cadavers. But that's kind of what you're seeing. It's calm. There are no people. So it's very, very like just still and peaceful.
Is there no bird song at all?
Not where you are, no.
That's shady. Sir, open it.
Mm.
Open it.
Okay. Okay. Wait, hold up. Wrong key. Hold on.
No, it's that one.
Wrong.
No,
This
that
one?
one with the little smudge of like tarnishing on it. Yeah. No, that's not it. I just made that
No.
up.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. This one. Okay. I unlock the door. Oh, they died. Nope, they're not dead.
Hello.
Hi. Unlock the door. The gates kind of open with a creak. It's just a park. It's there in front of you.
Is there any wind blowing right now?
I mean, there's wind, there's breeze, but it's definitely not what they're describing.
Do you think we should just like follow the regular wind and like maybe there's like a super wind?
Why don't we at least step in?
Okay. And step in.
I step in.
I step in. Sorry, I'm just finding music.
You're good.
Food passed from the void.
Void.
A big old bowl of ramen.
Hell yeah.
To step in. The grass is a little bit crunchy under your feet. That's time of year. The grass is starting to kind of become a little bit dormant. It's not quite as green or lush. You're in the City of the Dead.
Oh my god, sir, should we go like send our familiars, like fly around together?
Oh. Yeah, that's
Or
right.
I'll go
Hold on.
that way.
So, am I going in another direction?
Well, maybe we should like go in different directions, so that way they're like seeing different things.
Okay.
And we'll both hold on to Nova.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll fly like maybe like 100 yards and then like turn back.
I've never done the actual look through him thing.
I mean, Hickory's really competent. I'm sure it'll be fine. He's a very good duck.
Okay.
So are you. I mean, you are a good duck, actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with that.
Sure. Okay, so like I go north, you go like north.
I'll go like kind of like northwest, and you go like kind of northeast.
Okay, well, what about like north? Just like.
Well, Nova is here. Nova can probably.
Bramble just kind of goes, "Where do you want me to go?"
Be patient.
Fine. East, west.
Yeah, and Nova
North-ish.
can probably see further than our familiars, so Nova will look straight north, and if a big giant wind monster comes, help us. Let's go, Bramble! And I go into his head.
Let's go, Hickory.
So you kind of focus, try to feel that same energy that Tempe was talking to you about, and then blink, and you're seeing through Hickory's eyes, sitting on your head. It's a little strange.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're probably also hearing out of Hickory's ears, so it's like slightly above your own.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Northwest, please. East. Northeast, please.
I slide a hand around Nova's waist, and then I make Bramble fly northwest.
Okay. So they both. Yeah. So they both fly into the air. The ground getting further and further away. They go in the air about 30 and fly in the direction that you told them to go.
I'm waiting for Vertigo.
And we're
while
looking
standing
out.
there. He's like,
So who went northeast? Was that Bramble?
that was Hickory.
Hickory. Okay. So Hickory just kind of flies over the City of the Dead. You're seeing all of the mausoleums from an aerial view. So you're just seeing the roofs. You can see the tops of trees. He kind of follows the gravel pathway a bit and then begins to follow the line of the creek as it kind of turns northeast a bit. There are no people. The further north you get, you do actually start to see... actually, roll a perception check for Hickory. I am re-skinning the chicken.
That works, actually. That works really well, probably.
So you can
insight.
So you can use the chicken basic stats for now. I will edit it a little bit to give him like maybe a swimming speed or something. But
Okay. Let me just look up a chicken.
Give him like a slappy feet ability.
you can get it actually in D&D Beyond if you want to do
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
what I'm
Okay.
familiar.
There we go.
maybe under. I don't have chicken. I'll do it another. I'll because
I'll figure that out for you.
That's okay.
Give him for now a +2 to perception.
He rolled an 11.
Okay. So you are seeing some creatures like squirrels and the like as you move further north. So it seems that perhaps the priest that you spoke with, his assessment was correct and that they are migrating further away from most of the activity.
Okay.
Why don't you roll a perception check for Bramble, Vic?
Yeah, he's gonna get the metal dice. Oh yeah, Bramble. That's +3, 19.
Okay. Moving northwest, seeing a lot of the same. There's no people. The creature life gets to be more prominent the more north you get. There is a breeze that's being blown through that both of you are experiencing. But you don't see too much.
Can I tell what direction the breeze is coming from?
The 19, I would say that you're kind of getting a breeze coming from the north, so flowing south.
Can I just do perception check around our immediate vicinity?
Go ahead.
Nope, that's a 10.
Ooh, a 10? Did you roll like a 1?
I rolled a 4. +6. That's a 10.
At the very least, you are noticing that there are no you do feel the breeze though. Okay. But other than that, there's no people, there's not really much going on.
Can I do a little lap as Bramble around some of the mausoleums? Is there like anything weird on them? Like, does it look like anyone's like, I don't know, stuck any weird magic shit on them? Like weird magic symbols? Or like a little creepy altar?
With your 19, I would say no. You don't see anything too unusual.
Okay.
I'll actually just tell Hickory to stay in the air, like above. You said there's like a little like river, a little creek or something? Yeah, just stay in the air above that so that I will know when I'm underneath you and I'll actually pop out because I'm getting vertigo.
Okay.
like sir is getting vertigo. He's like,
yeah, it's fair.
We don't see anything really. Not yet. I think we need to get deeper in.
Okay.
Is she still?
Yeah, she's still. It's okay. I can lead her. We can walk forward.
Oh, okay. That should be fun. Yeah, let's get a little bit deeper in.
So I will lead Tallice. My arm around her waist as I'm like bringing her forward.
Okay. Easy enough. You guys move forward across the gravel path, the City of the Dead, leading Tallice along the way. Tallice, you feel them begin to... So you can walk with them if you choose to, or you can choose to tell Bramble to come back. It's really up to you.
I'll tell him to go invisible and maintain this distance ahead of us, and I'm pretty sure he can like message me telepathically anywhere as long as we're on the same plane. So if he sees anything, he'll just message me. But keep looking, dude.
Okay,
and I'll
sounds
walk
good.
with them. Tell them what I saw.
All right, sounds good. So you move along the gravel path. It's peaceful. It's a nice little park. Be a good place to come and sit and read or paint or just kind of come on a leisurely walk, and that is
Have
what
a
a lot of people.
picnic.
It is what a lot of people do, and this is treated as a park. People don't really treat it as a cemetery. They will come and they will pay respect to the dead and everything like that, because obviously their dead is buried here. But it's a place to go and kind of hang out too. It's like the central park of Waterdeep, essentially. Moving further into the City of the Dead, you guys come across. You've seen a lot of statues, but a particularly impressive statue you come across. It's much bigger than the rest. It's about 60 feet high. Depicts a circle of women and men striking down a lot of monstrous creatures.
Oh,
like
this thing.
Orcs, hobgoblins, bugbears, barbarians, trolls, all of which are kind of falling backward and outward from the statue.
This is the one that I wanted to put soap in.
Yeah.
Oh.
The griffin that's flying up above everybody, which is bearing like a skeletal knight whose breastplate has a symbol on it of the god of the dead. It is a fountain. It is not on currently. So the if you remember correctly, there was like from their wounds and like the holes in them, that's where the water was kind of coming from. Yeah. That is currently not on.
Do you think like the groundskeepers keep it on and it's off because they haven't been in, or do we think it's like
probably haven't been maintaining it?
Is the water like starting to go stagnant, like getting a little algae on the top?
Yes, it's been sitting dormant for a while.
Yeah.
Not moving.
I mean, like, should we like yell and be like, "Wow, I fucking hate wind," and like see what happens? Like,
That seems a bit excessive.
I mean, I don't really know what to do if it's not happening, then there's nothing to investigate.
Well, maybe we just stay here a while and see what happens.
The wind does begin to increase. It's
Is it
gone from a
still-
breeze to kind of a gust.
Is it still north to south?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe it's like at the center of the park. There's like a wind being.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I was imagining is that, we go to the center, at least, because if it's trying to blow people out of here, then it's trying to keep them away.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's follow the flow.
Can I message Bramble and be like, "Hey, you're really small. Are you all right? The wind's picking up."
I gotta say, it's really hard to stay in the air.
All right, we'll come back. We'll come back.
Okay. This is aye, Captain. And
Okay. If I poke into Hickory, can I see us in relation to him, or at least the fountain?
Yes, you can, which means you're probably about 100 or so feet away.
Okay, well then I'm in telepathic distance. So.
Yeah, and you can see he's floating in the creek.
Aww.
Oh.
He's being a duck.
Are you comfortable, buddy? You want to chill in the creek?
You get kind of a positive like affirmation sort of
He's
feeling.
happy. He's in the
Affirmative.
All right.
Just listen on those vibes, man.
He's just vibing, man. Just vibing this creek.
Sir's not used to he's used to telepathic communication with you, but he's still doing everything verbal. So he's like, all right, well, so you're literally just seeing him be like, all right, well, you just stay there, and if I need you, I'll call you. Okay.
Oh, thanks 20 Sides to Every Story for the raid.
Hey.
Thank you.
We love you.
Okay. So, the further you get in that direction, the more the wind actually begins to pick up. And the further you get in that direction, the less discernible the direction the wind is coming from is. It's kind of one of those like blustery, kind of all around you sort of winds.
Okay.
Until you're like, I'd say probably 30 feet away from Hickory. And Bramble has made his way back to you. He's sitting on your shoulder, Tallice. When the wind picks up so much, I actually need you guys to make a strength saving throw for me, please.
I have the perfect music on right now to just wind and like the iciness.
Oh shit,
so
I forgot
good.
music. Oh my god, I'm literally gonna die.
This is what
What type of check? Dex?
Strength save.
Oh.
These are strength. That's why I was kind of trying to. Yeah, I mean, I didn't say I was holding on to you guys or anything. So this one you gotta just handle it.
Oh, we're gonna use the blue and purple dice. It
17.
looks like little swirls of wind.
Okay, make one for Bramble too.
Oh no.
I'm gonna use inspiration because I hate rolling low on what I'm good at. I rolled
10.
lower. I rolled an 8 and a 1. So 13.
Oh god, I think Bramble's strength is like minus a lot. Tallice got 10. He literally has a minus 4. Fuck.
He can still roll higher than me.
That's a 6.
Okay. So, Bramble is just knocked off your shoulder.
And
But
make
he
him go
managed.
away.
Oh, okay. Make him go away. Which is good. Nova, you are able to stay on your feet. Tallice and Sir, you are not. You are flung 20 feet away.
Wow.
With this wind.
Nova's trapped.
And with the 20 feet you take...
Yeah. Here it comes.
It's not too bad. 12 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
That's not too bad.
Oof.
That's like half my health.
Yeah, it's like half my health.
I was already injured from being stabbed by Bramble.
Oh yeah, I didn't 1 damage.
Kristy, you take 6. You take half.
Okay.
But you are not flung away, and you are not knocked prone.
Okay.
And the two of you that were flung 20 feet, you are prone.
Okay.
It's a little excessive.
And in that space that you're currently in, Kristy, you're starting, the dust that's around you is starting to kind of make this like spiral. Almost a tornado like, but it's not a tornado that moves up to the sky. It's like maybe 8 or 9 feet tall. And begins to become more tangible.
No.
Does it look more like an entity now?
Yes. It's a very vague entity, but an entity all the same. There are kind of wispy, almost arms that are coming off of it, and dark face that's like forming in the almost tornado-like structure.
Can I attempt to telepathically speak to this thing?
Sure.
Because they just need to understand a language.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask, why are you doing this? What's wrong?
Okay. Roll me a basic charisma check.
Okay.
You're not necessarily persuading it to do anything.
Right. Okay. 16 plus basic check is plus 2, so 18.
Okay.
Does it understand? I don't know.
It does understand.
Okay.
Because it needs to just know a language
Yep.
according to your specific message.
Yep.
You do get a response back. It is very breathy, because it is speaking Orin.
Okay.
But due to the nature of your message that was granted to you by your domain, even though you are hearing it as Orin, you are as common.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a babblefish from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And its response is just a simple, I'm trapped.
You're trapped here?
It doesn't respond.
Do you need help?
This is Nova.
I know.
Sir's crawling.
My friends are like hella damaged. I'm like, are you okay?
I am trying to basically like prone crawl through the.
Damn, I'll try it too, but I'm weak AF,
Oh.
so.
I'll try and crawl in front of you to take the brunt of it.
Slingshot engage. Ricky Bobby that shit.
The wind dies down. That is preventing you from moving forward intentionally. It's still windy. You're standing next to a literal wind entity, but how?
Maybe we can investigate this area and figure out why you're stuck here? That's really sad if this isn't your home and you can't leave. We can try to figure out how to let you go.
It's just kind of, I say standing, kind of floating there.
Do you remember how you got
Does-
here?
No.
How long have you been here for?
I don't understand the passage of time the way you do.
Did anyone hurt you to get here?
No.
Okay. Well then I guess we can just look around and figure out why you can't leave. Do you want to go back to your home plane?
Yes.
Okay. I think we can figure something out.
So Tallice and Sir kind of walk up.
Yeah. What are we doing? Are you talking? Are we? What are we doing? What is it? What is that?
It says it's stuck here and it wants to go home.
Well, can it, like, stop with the wind a little?
Yeah. I mean, if it wants help, then why is it blowing everyone away?
Can you maybe calm your winds down a bit so my friends can help too? Just a little bit.
It does. It does.
Okay.
It's like broke my hair.
There's
And-
like my
so much
hair.
So much. I know.
It says it's trapped here, but it doesn't remember how it got here.
Okay. I mean, can it be more specific as to where? I mean, just here, like the City of the Dead, or like somewhere
think-
specific?
I think it wants to go back to its home plane.
Okay, but I mean, if it's trapped here, then that means, think about it like if you had like a manacle or something on, right? I mean, something is keeping it here. So where does it feel connected to?
Can I try?
Oh my god, my eyes are watering so much. There's so much wind. I think there's dust in it. Oh, this.
I'm going to tell this wind monster that I'm going to try and detect if it's being held here magically. So don't freak out. I'm just going to try and see if I can see what's holding you here.
Okay.
And I will
Doesn't.
attempt to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. You cast Detect Magic. There's an immediate magical aura around your friends. They have magical items.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing in the immediate vicinity. I believe, is it 60 feet or 30 feet?
30?
Yeah.
That is giving you a magical vibe.
Is the air elemental itself affected by any magic currently?
Ooh, that's a good
Oh yeah, I forgot to...
That's what I was mostly using it for, so
Yeah.
he didn't freak out because I was like, I need to like check you out.
I will say you are getting a conjuration magic aura off of him.
Conjuration.
If it was summoned.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Probably bound if it can't leave.
Yeah, if it's planar binding.
Like planar binding or a Gaius or something.
Which we don't know what those are.
Well, yeah, out of character we don't.
Out of
Yeah.
character, we don't know.
How do we figure that? We can.
Nova was hoping to see like a magical manacle holding it here somehow.
If only it was that easy.
I know.
Do you? I forget. Can you identify?
I don't think so. I don't think clerics can.
I didn't know if you specifically could.
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think clerics have that ability.
Damn, maybe I should. No,
Yeah,
wait, I don't think I can.
Mm,
I don't have it, and I don't know how.
I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Well, like.
Should we walk around with the detect magic spell thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk around. Where was the first place? I'm gonna ask telepathically. Where was the first place you woke up here? Could you take me there? Maybe I can find a clue.
It begins to. It is listening, obviously, because it's like almost face is like looking in your direction, and then moves past you. There's a moment where you're like, because it's like super windy, and just begins to move further south.
I follow.
Yeah.
While we walk, Sir's like, I mean, Temperance did a lot of talking about how, like, there's the weave and you tap into it and that, like, you can reach out to other planes to pull things. That's how I made or called, Hickory in the first place. So, I mean, maybe it's something like that. Maybe
Yeah.
Ace, why don't you message her with that sending stone and ask her if she knows any way to fix this?
I mean, I don't want to... I mean, that is very possible. I could message her. I do have the rope.
I mean, she's your teacher, so if you have questions about magic.
Okay.
Well, alright, you need to, like, count the words this time.
Well, also, I mean...
Just be like, hey, girl. How
I mean-
to help air guy stuck here.
I mean, it's listen, maybe it's my pride talking, but like just a little bit of me wants to see if like we can just
Okay,
figure it
we'll
out.
keep her as a last resort. Let's try and figure out if we can find any clues beforehand. And if we really don't know what to do, we can message her and ask her what she thinks we could do to let him go back home.
Yeah. Let's figure out as much as we can, and then if we need insight, that way we don't ask her something that we could have figured out in 10 minutes.
Okay.
I can ask my best friend if that doesn't work, because she can control the air too. Okay. Every time I try to talk to her, the wind blows.
Oh,
Ah,
maybe.
that's very relevant,
Could be.
actually.
Yeah, could be very relevant.
I was gonna ask Bramble about her, but then like things just started kind of happening, and he can't really come out right now. It's too windy for his tiny body.
Oh. Chel. Oh.
Hickory check. Hey, how's the water doing, little buddy?
Making the bed.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hello?
he's still by the water.
Okay. He's just straight chilling.
You told him to chill until you
Yeah.
needed him.
Yeah. I just want. I'm still treating it like a pet.
Just want to make sure he's okay.
Plap, 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 plap.
So you follow the air elemental. 2. You guys hadn't traveled too far, so I'd say probably less than 100 feet to the big statue.
Oh.
Maybe the water was
Am I getting a
not
ping?
turned off.
Am I getting a ping over here?
You are, actually. In the griffin, or around the griffin that is flying above everything, like all of like the chaos of monstrous creatures being hurt, you are getting conjuration.
I'm going to click my boots and fly on up to where that ping is.
Okay.
Oh god, is it still super windy?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is still super windy.
Oh god, am I gonna have to make a save to do this?
You don't have to make a save, but I will say make like an athletics check to see if you can fly through the wind, or how well you can fly through the wind anyway.
Athletics. As a cleric, I should be better at this.
I'm realizing that those boots are really useful.
Did you not won?
No, but I rolled a 6. Total.
Okay. So the air elemental is standing right there, floating right there. So you fly into the air, and it's like you fly up, and then
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
I don't have a grappling hook
Buddy,
anymore.
buddy, can you push me up there? I'm sorry. I think I found something.
So there's kind of the mouth opens, and it turns to Nova, and
Hell yeah!
and you go for a fly and kind of back to whoa.
Oh shit!
He's pretty alright.
A pretty good guy. She's went into the 3 cups. I bet he would love to be a hookah monster. He'll be a hookah elemental.
Oh no!
He might get traumatized and think that you're trying to trap him like a genie.
So I will say now, can you roll me a dexterity saving throw to see if you can grab onto the statue as you fly by?
That's okay. That's better. That's 17 for a save.
Yeah. So it's kind of like whoa, and you have to like kind of like hold your grab onto the statue, and you can like pull your way up to the by where the griffin is.
You see anything?
I will look and focus on
So-
the detect magic.
So it was in the general vicinity of the griffin. If you remember, there's that skeletal knight that's sitting on top of it. Deep in the knight's chest is kind of where you're getting that conjuration.
Can I try and like fiddle with it? Try and access where the magic is behind?
So you kind of fiddle with it a little bit. Get your hand in there, try and dig through, see if you can get into the statue. There's a stone.
Ooh. Oh.
A blue stone about this big.
I'll float back down.
Roll me a strength check.
Natural 20! Hell yeah!
Just
Fly
tighten
down.
your thighs and descend.
Just clench.
Drop her like a rock. Let's go.
When you're a little
You are
kid
able
and
to get
someone's
down to
going to
everyone.
pick you up and you just make yourself heavier.
Yes.
Just like noodle. Okay. Yeah, you've got a blue stone. It's smooth and oblong.
And does it feel like the stone is what's connecting the conjuration?
You, with detect magic, you can't tell if conjuration magic from stone is connected
Okay.
in any way,
Okay.
but they're both the same school of magic.
Why did you bring a rock down? You flew out all that way just to bring us a rock?
Well, this also has conjuration magic as well as the air elemental has conjuration magic. I feel like and this is where he woke up.
Okay.
I feel like the stone is probably what's keeping him here.
So do we
It's. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, like you're pitching a tent, and that's like the spoke.
I'm gonna try and attune to this stone to see if I can figure out how to make it work and how to let it go.
Okay. Sure. You're gonna have to take some time to sit down.
Yeah. And I'll ask the air elemental for some patience because I think I might have an idea on how to let him go.
Okay. So, in this wind that's whipping everybody, your hair is kind of whipping around your faces. Especially now that the elemental is near you, it's not wind that's blowing in any direction. It's just
It's a vortex.
wind everywhere, basically. Yeah. So, but it just kind of stands there.
No, but can you ask him to kindly stand like just 10 feet away?
You guys can stand 10 feet away. I'm trying to help him.
Well, why don't we all stand 10 feet away from him and just have him stand still so that we can make sure you're alright?
I'm fine, don't worry.
You say that, but like you were talking earlier about how you go down in a lot of fights. Not saying we're in a fight, but we're trying to keep you safe.
He's not gonna fight me. He just wants to go home.
Okay.
Alright.
Maybe I'm just a little irritable because it sent me flying 20 feet and I hit my head on a rock.
Oh.
You know,
do
maybe
you need healing?
I think I like might have breaking a rib. There's like this. It was just popping sound when I landed.
God.
That was nice.
Well, if she's going to be working
good,
on that,
though.
how
do your little
about
rock.
if she's going to work on that? How about you and I take 10 feet away? We sit down and I see if I can pop your rib back in.
Oh! Please, no.
Alright.
AKA take a short rest and roll some hit dice.
Well, technically, Nova is also taking a short rest because she needs to do so in order to attune to her item. So.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
What's my hit?
You
die
guys
again?
take your short rest
My
with the
D8.
air elemental awkwardly standing like 5 feet away from.
Yeah, this is.
I'm like in between the air elemental and my friends. I don't want to be too far from him.
Oh, cool.
Cool. I literally rolled really bad.
Back to normal.
6 total healed.
I had to
After
use 2 to get to full, but.
so short rest is 2 hours. So after about an hour, you hear this little slap,
No.
footstep towards you.
Slap, slap, slap.
Yep, 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 yep.
Your little duck has chosen to walk.
You could have
Just
flown.
waddles.
Hey. I got open lap for you. Lap nest.
And comes and sits in your lap. Does the and like his little like duck body like pancakes a little bit.
This is so good for my mental health.
Oh, buddy.
Depression cured. Crops watered.
Your emotional therapy, duck. I love it.
Is there anything that you two would like to do during your short rest? Nova is attuning to the stone.
Did Temperance leave me the recipe for that shield spell? Or the geometry?
Yeah.
I'll be studying it.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Practicing the alphabet.
I'll pop Bramble out, but like right in front of me so that I catch him. And I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm really sorry, this is crazy, but can you tell me about my best friend later? Because I don't even know her name or anything about her. But not right now, because it's really fucking windy.
Well, I can't tell you her name, but I can tell you about her.
That's fine, whatever you can tell me.
I'll flutter out my cloak a bit and put it like around. We'll have like a little huddle, and I'll put it around you while we watch Nova.
Okay.
Do you think this wind guy? Do you think because like she always does stuff with wind? Do you think this wind guy knows her?
I think that wind guys like that and the boss lady are from like 2 different places. Maybe, but maybe not. They're kind of like brought from like other planes, basically.
Oh my god, I'm sorry, but the music just did a duck noise. It's got ducks!
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh my god.
That is hilarious.
Oh wow.
But they like come from like other planes, and like boss lady's on one plane, and these guys are on another plane, and like anybody can like call and be like, "Hey, air guy, come on, got a job for you." So maybe, but maybe not.
Sounds like they're way less cool if like anybody can call them, and they're not like special like people calling them.
Yeah. Dime a dozen.
They're not special
Copper
like
a dozen.
fairies. You stay in your little demi plane and I'll come get you later.
You got it.
And I put him away.
Okay. Alright. So Nova, you spend your time attuning to the stone. You are able to discern what it does. You, however, feel a block keeping you from actually being able to use the item. But you are able to you do the magical attunement, and you get to a point where like you have like hurdles to jump over, basically. That's like, okay, hurdle number 1, figuring out what it does. Hurdle number 2, being able to use it, and you're unable to get over hurdle 2. You're unable to get past that wall.
Damn.
But you do know what it does.
What does it do?
This stone is a stone that is intended to bind elementals. When elementals are conjured, they are conjured with the intent of being a servant. So they are conjured against their will. Before they, when their use is completed, they are able to be sent back to their own material, like their own plane. But these stones are placed in an area, and it binds the elemental to this area.
So if I were to move the stone, the elemental...
It would bind... The elemental would need to move with it, and it would be bound to another area. At least for this particular stone.
Could I, in theory, give him the stone and he just goes where the fuck he wants?
Or
no?
If he could attune to it properly, probably.
Oh, okay.
But because you can't attune to it properly, you can
Yeah.
kind of assume that he probably wouldn't be able to either.
Okay.
And he'd still be stuck on the material.
He'd still be
plane.
stuck,
Yeah, true.
These stones only function as long as they are functional. So you know that at the very least.
Is there a radius?
Yeah, I would say the radius is 5 miles.
Okay.
Big radius.
Okay.
How big is the city of the dead?
Definitely not 5 miles.
Okay, so technically this...
He can leave the city of the dead.
Correct.
Okay.
But if he was given a specific directive that he doesn't know about, it might be that it was to be in the city of the dead, causing
Exactly.
problems.
I mean, it sounds like the directive was keep people out of the city of the dead so that person that summoned him there could get something
get in
out
and-
of the city of the dead.
Yeah.
Or do something in the city of the dead.
Can we ask him if, like, has he seen any, like, of the mausoleums, like, with the doors opened on them, or, like...
I'm
like,
translating.
I don't know, like, well, why would someone put this here?
There's something, I mean, yeah, to get something out of a mausoleum. I'm sure that there's plenty of people that are buried with a lot of interesting things. They're normally protected, but if there's no one here...
So you ask him if he's seen any mausoleums be opened? No.
Have you seen anyone else come through here that, especially on the first day?
Many people came through here.
But were any of them, like, the same he probably wouldn't know how to tell people apart. He's like an air guy. Like, if I saw two air guys, I'd probably say they look the same, and they'd probably be, like, really offended. Yeah.
So, Nova,
Yeah.
you're saying that this thing is basically tethering him here,
Yeah.
but that it needs to be functional.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we not just destroying it?
Will we go home if we destroy it?
I don't know, because I can't get over the second hurdle.
Do you want me to... So, how about this? The portable hole is like a little pocket dimension. What if we put the stone in there, rolled it up? Maybe it would sever the connection between them without having to destroy the stone, because it would technically not be on the same plane anymore.
We have to take the rocks out.
It's tiny. I'm sure we could wedge it in there and roll it up.
What if he goes into there with it?
He's made of air. Is that really a problem? Then we just take it back out, and the theory has been tested, and we break it. You want to try it?
Can we tell him that we're trying things?
I just don't want to hurt him.
Okay. Understandable. But what else are you gonna do with it?
I feel like...
I mean, do you want to bring it to the Blackstaff
I
Tower?
was thinking that, honestly. I feel like this is out of my realm, out of my depth. I don't feel like I'm capable enough to, like, understand this type of item. But maybe she could? And if it's radius of 5 miles, he can stay here, and we can lock the door. He can stay here safely. We know that he's safe. No one's going in. We'll take the item, go try and figure out if we can dispel it without hurting him or hurting others.
Okay. That's... that works.
Okay, so I will tell him what we just discussed and give him the full rundown of what I think needs to happen.
We have a really powerful friend who I think might be able to break the spell on this item, because it's really strong. Even I can't do it.
All right.
But you'll be safe here. We'll lock the door. No one will come in. You can have it to yourself. And as soon as we figure out how to break it, we'll come tell you. But we'll get you home safe.
Okay.
Okay. Don't worry. Just be patient.
Okay.
I feel like it's hard to
Just
tell
standing there.
to be patient. It's like it's wind.
Okay. Why don't we
Go to the tower.
go now?
Yeah.
Can you tell Tempe, like, hey, let's hang right now. Wind guy needs help.
I literally just saw her like an hour ago. She might be busy. I won't bother her. Not that she seems like someone that would be bothered, but...
Do you want me to call her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how many words I can use. Hey, Dumpy. Ah, fuck it. We'll find out.
Just do it. I'll
Just
count.
do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Tempe. We found a magical stone tethering air elemental in City of Dead. Need help. Want to send him home.
You have 4 more. Coming to visit?
Can you do it?
Can you do?
Can you do it?
Okay. Let me count my words here.
Pick up your talk rock.
Do you think someone put it in the statue? Do you think it was always there and someone turned it on?
Well, like, don't they turn on the walking statue sometimes when there's, like, stuff happening?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's like that.
Hmm.
No, but did it seem, like, natural? Like, it had a good fit, or did it seem like someone just kind of shoved it in there and, like, carved a hole out?
Yeah, that's a good question. Was there a place for it, or was it kind of just wedged in there?
The ribs are kind of, it's not like a solid statue. The ribs are carved out. And it was like shoved in there.
Okay. So yeah, someone put it here. It wasn't made for the skeleton.
Someone put it there to get everyone out of the city of the dead.
I mean, like, what do you do in the City of the Dead that you don't want anyone else there for? It's like a big park. You're doing something to the dead people?
Unless there was something.
You do get a response. Oh wow, that's interesting. She doesn't say it would depend on how it was conjured and how it's being bound, but I could take a look.
Let's go.
Alright.
Bye, Mr. Air Guy. 1 copper for the dress.
Batman transition. Let's go.
Okay. You just move through the city on your dray, locking the door to the gate to the city of the dead behind you, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nova was very clear on that.
Okay. Making your way to Blackstone Tower, where you have been a couple of times now. Sir is now technically an arcane magic user.
Hell yeah!
Us! Yes!
Uh-huh.
Slap it.
So you were able to
Chel was
open
like-
the gate. Yeah.
Slap it.
Slap it.
Let Hickory's little duck foot slap.
Press Hickory too. No, I just put my hand on it. Hickory's sleeping.
And the the glow happens, the gate opens, you're able to do the same to the tower. What are you thinking about? Where are you going?
Tempe's room.
Yeah, if we think about just Tempe, do we just like show
Yeah,
up like at
I'm just
Tempe?
thinking about Tempe, honestly.
Okay, fair enough. So you were given a door on the outside of the tower, which you open to a hallway. Travel down the hallway leads to another door. The hallway is just kind of this, there's no doors on the outside, it's just like this never-ending hallway. There's kind of sconces that are on the outside. It feels like you're not getting anywhere
Is it
until suddenly
tall
there's a
enough,
door.
or does Ace have to...
It's tall enough, yeah.
Okay.
It feels like you're not going anywhere until boom, suddenly there's just like a door in front of you.
It's a magic door.
Tempe's eating ramen.
You open it up. She's got her big bowl of ramen in front of her.
I knock first and then open the door. Just in case she's naked.
You actually open the door into what appears to be a combination of a lab and a little mini library and an office. It's pretty big. There's like an alchemy table that's got like an alchemy kind of setup with Bunsen burners and different earthenware and glassware and liquids and bottles and tubing, and there's other tables that are just completely covered with like spell components and books that are open and stuff.
Does this look like an office, or is there a bed here too, or is this open concept?
No,
or
it's totally open concept.
Okay.
There is no bed.
Okay.
It appears to be like an office or like combination.
like an office lab?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she doesn't sleep here. She's good.
Hi.
Ruse flies in to the room from, or he's already in the room obviously, but he flies down from top of one of the bookshelves. And she kind of pokes her head up from underneath the table, where she appeared to be grabbing something. Hello.
Hi.
Long time no see.
Yeah, it has been a long time, hasn't it? She winks, so she stands up.
We have something possibly interesting for you.
I love interesting things. Do share.
I
She kind of comes
will
over to where you guys are.
take out the stone.
She takes it from you, turning it over in her hand, running her hand over the smooth stone. Interesting. You said air elemental.
Yeah. He was pretty upset. He says he's stuck. And he wants to go home.
Seems to be the
That's-
cause for all the winds in the City of the Dead.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys are working on?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
For Father
That means
Tyre.
that they are. Yeah, it means that they are intentional, which is alarming.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. How did you talk to him? Do you guys know Orin?
I will telepathically message her. This is how. He just needs to understand one language, and we can
Okay.
communicate. As long as the soul understands the language, I understand it too.
Okay. Well, it doesn't surprise me that he wants to go home. They want to go home. Generally, they're not gendered at all. I don't particularly like conjuration magic, simply because it usually binds a creature against their will, and I don't really like doing that sort of thing, which is why I don't really conjure things like or anything of the like. I think the only thing I've ever kind of conjured and bound was familiar, and even then I spoke with him at length to make sure it was what he wanted to do. So
That makes sense.
it doesn't surprise me that he wants to go home. Do you think that tell me why you think this stone has anything to do with it?
Well, when I cast the initial detect magic, I checked his body for any signs of maybe like a spell, and I was getting a strong sense of conjuration magic from him. So then I
Makes
asked
sense.
him where he first woke up, because he couldn't remember how he got here, and he took me back to the statue with the skeleton, and that's where I picked up the ping of a second conjuration magic. And then I tried to attune to it, but it seems really complicated and I can't get past the second stage.
Isn't she smart?
Very. Well, my guess would be this stone binds the elemental to the material plane somehow. Especially if you were getting conjuration magic off of the item, generally. I mean, the stone may have been used to conjure the elemental, and then is also connected to it via the spell that the user cast. I would imagine that destroying the stone would break the connection, but destroying the stone may still lead to the elemental being stuck on this plane.
Oh.
There's a remedy to that, though. She kind
Okay.
of does what I just did. It's an easy enough spell for... I don't mean to toot my own horn. For me, a magic user of my caliber. We have plenty of them in the city, but so I can... Essentially, we can destroy the stone, see if that works. If he is not brought back to his own plane, I can simply... The word sounds negative, but I can banish him, essentially, which will pop him back into his own plane.
Right.
And then I just kind of need to maintain the spell for a period of time, and then he will stay.
Well, that'll fix like the immediate problem, but if someone put that there, what if they just put another one there and then he comes back and then he sees us and he's like, "You lied," and then he beats the shit out of us.
That's what I wanted to know. I mean, if the spell is currently active, do you have some way of being able to, through the stone, figure out who cast the spell in the first place?
Like a magical calling card.
I could attempt to scry on this stone to see who it belongs to. So it could technically be like an item that is connected to somebody. Could potentially do that. I mean, that's the easiest method.
I mean, because if someone put that there, and
There had to be a reason, and probably not a good one.
yeah, if they were trying to clear everyone out of the City of the Dead, but it's just a park, can you think of any reason why someone would want the City of the Dead to have no people in it, or no one able to get in?
I mean, there are quite a few reasons that I can think of.
Grave
The
robbing.
simplest one being grave robbing. The more alarming one being the City of the Dead is intended to be the way that it is because it is a barrier against people who are attempting to do things like necromancy, or at least that branch of necromantic magic. We haven't had any issues of undead in the city in a very, very long time. And we don't currently now have issues with the undead in the city, so I'm going to say that's a stretch, but I'm not going to eliminate it from the possibilities.
Is someone capable of doing this level of magic, binding elemental to the material plane? Would they also possibly be able to be a powerful necromancer? I don't know how the power levels correlate.
Necromancy is a very misunderstood school of magic. Not all people hear necromancy and they go, "Oh, raised dead, undead, like it's horrible, blah blah blah." But it's not always just bad spells like that. For example, any spells that are sanctioned by any time to bring people back to life or to revive people that have died, those are considered necromancy spells. So there's not always a negative connotation to it. So there are levels and skill levels of magic that could bring people back to life. It would be along the same lines, I guess, if we're looking like beginner, intermediate, difficult magic. Summoning an elemental and also raising dead to create undead creatures are kind of on the same intermediate level.
Okay. Not to
So
go
how-
with the worst scenario, but
How would we destroy this stone or deactivate it?
We could attempt to dispel the magic on it.
I had the idea of possibly storing it in a pocket dimension to cut it off from the material plane.
That could work, but that would likely just bring the air elemental to that pocket dimension rather than just destroy it. I'm imagining it's not an unintelligent idea. The connection there it's there, but I imagine because the elemental is bound to the stone, it will simply just go where the stone goes.
Okay.
I just can't imagine anyone, even if it was like a nice, like, I'm gonna bring people back to life. If you think that you're doing something wrong, that's when you wouldn't want anyone to see it. So, like, you know, why did they have to? Someone, like, was trying to get people out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know, this
I
is
agree.
weird.
Do you think it's worth doing this scrying thing that you mentioned beforehand, just to see if we can learn anything about the person?
That would depend on what you guys would like to do with that information. Are you handing this over to the authorities, so to speak, or is this something that you would like to investigate yourselves?
Well, I guess it's gonna.
Well, we were told to keep the blood off the streets by Captain Staggett.
But if we get permission to go after somebody,
As magical freelancer investigators by the Black Staff's
But
assistant.
I feel like it could also depend on who's on the other side of that scry.
that's true.
If it's someone
are-
high up in authority, I don't know if we have the means to do anything, but if it's just a low-level bandit, sure, we could handle that.
I think you're more capable than you think that you are. I see your face, but I think you are far more capable than you think that you are. And I can give you permission to act on behalf of the that is under my power. If you would like me to utilize a scry spell to see if I can figure out who is doing this, which will be done whether or not you would like to continue the investigation or not, because if you don't, I will be handing it either over to Force Grey or the Magisters, probably the Magisters first, and then they will decide if it's something that they would like to handle. But if you do, a scry is going to happen either way.
Okay.
Well, we can, like, if it seems like it's within our ability level, then think of it as, like, another test, so that the Black Staff knows that we're really cool.
I want to know who's messing with my fucking city, and I want to deal with it.
I want to have a picnic!
I just want to send
And
him
she
home,
wants to
because,
have
like,
a
that's
picnic.
fucked up.
We all got motivation.
I have the means to send them home. Like I said, a banishment spell, if it is a creature from another plane, will immediately send that creature back to that plane, and then I just need to concentrate on that spell and hold it for a period of time, and they will be permanently on that plane. So regardless of what happens here, I can send him back, so you don't need to worry about that.
Good. Thank you.
But I can scry to see if I can figure out who this is. There is a chance that it will not work. Sometimes people have built up barriers with the mind or have magic in place that keeps them from being scryed on or any sort of divination magic, but I can attempt it.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So she moves over to a desk, sets up a crystal ball in front of her, and we will pick up on that next week.
Yeah.
Who did this?
Who
did
it?
I literally just looked at the time and I was like, oh shit.
Oh, we're not gonna find out who it is.
What is that voice?
I wanna get him so badly.
Chocolate.
Oh,
I'll be selling chocolate.
badly.
Oh boy, what's happening?
Okay.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, I wanna
Woof.
get him.
Okay.
Oh, just like get him.
Any closing remarks?
Check out littledragoncorp.com and use the coupon code bonus to get 10% off of your order. And don't forget, we have games every night of the week, y'all.
Y'all. Hell yeah,
Okay.
come watch me
Be
tomorrow
nice.
for Kingdom Hearts Remind DLC drop tomorrow on MYSTICHOUR.
Be nice to ducks.
Be nice to ducks.
Yes.
As the ducks start on the background. Love your ducks.
I don't think you guys messed up enough this session.
Oh, well, thanks, Chel.
When-
When you're trying to have
No.
a heart-to-heart with one of your friends.
There we go.
So that they can realize that they're cool, but also their own tarot cards call them on their shit.
Make sure you add your proficiency
Hell
bonus.
yeah! Alright, we will see you guys next week. Okay, love you, bye.
Love you.
Bye.